of Lincoln.
Come on, it's 6 o'clock. Rise and shine, rise and shine.
It's time for Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
Did seem kind of meh.
And Steve Sipple.
Surprisingly good.
This is Early Break with Sip and Jake, sponsored by Gaina Trucking.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday to you, Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen. Early break, full show ahead. Sean Callahan today. Some news in Nebraska football. The practice schedule is out and the media schedule out as well. We'll get
Huge
to,
news.
Which is, it's breaking news here in this area. Hey, you know what I saw this morning, though?
What's that?
We'll get
interested.
to our countdown to Ireland in a little bit. Today.
Okay.
But I saw that per Adam Schefter of ESPN this morning. We are today, right now, 50 days away from the NFL regular season opener.
50.
5-0.
Man, the summer flew by.
I know. It's always fun when it flies by because that means football's here.
Yeah. Is it always fine when it flies by?
I mean, I think as life has gone on, the summer means less to me. Well, I enjoy it.
That sounded kind of dark.
Well, it's not dark. I get away, I go on vacations, but like as a kid, when you're in school, you live for the summer.
Yeah.
No school for 3 months, baby. Let's live it up.
Yeah.
And then August turns, I go, no, we're going back to school. This
Oh,
month.
God,
It's
yeah.
the worst.
I can remember when the U.S. Open in New York when that would come around.
Tennis Open? Tennis?
Yeah. So it was late August.
Yep.
And that was always the signal that school was about to begin. And I would literally get a sick feeling in the pit of my stomach.
What kid doesn't get that sick pit?
I got that sick pit until I was about 41.
You weren't even in school at 41 years old.
I know. I was left residual sick pit. Yeah,
Wow.
it was residual.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's how
It's a
much.
long residual.
I did not
It's
like
20
school.
plus years of college.
I wasn't very good with school.
It's a long residual.
Yeah,
I
thank
hope
you.
you've recovered since then.
And now the summer thing. I mean, Jake, I've told you these stories back in the day before the internet. 5 weeks off during the summer. 5 weeks off.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really.
I can see why you get a little bit of a weird feeling with that too. After 5 weeks off,
Yeah.
oh boy, it's time to work again.
Talk about life changing. The internet squashed that.
Screwed you.
Yeah,
Screwed you over.
back in the day, Jake, like if there was breaking news.
Oh, back in the day. Here we go.
Yeah, back in the day, pre-internet, breaking news. If there was breaking news, like say at 11 o'clock in the morning, write the story, or maybe not write the story.
Just
Get
beat
everything
deadline
together
tonight, right?
Get everything together. Go mow the lawn. Come back 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
I got 2 hours here before deadline.
Beat deadline.
I got my reporting done. I'm going to leave for 6 hours. You could do it and then come back and write it.
Better times, man.
Yeah.
You could go to the lake. You could ride the hog for a while.
Yep.
I'll get to it tonight. Don't worry.
Yeah. Now, if
Have a
you're
nice
not,
big dinner.
yeah. Now, if you're not in front of your computer all the time, your colleagues are like, "Hey, did you see that somebody's academic all Big Ten? Can you get that out there?" I mean, you got to be at your computer all the time. I guess you do now.
Got to be addicted to it now.
No, I'm not. And I didn't yesterday. I was
Good.
on the hog all day.
I'm happy for you.
Okay. How do you want to approach this
Well,
media access
yes.
topic?
Well, I'll just go like this. Nebraska announced their fall schedule for camp for fall camp yesterday, and the media schedule, Sip, and
For the season.
for the season
For both.
fall camp and the season. Nebraska, you will not hear from the assistants outside of Eric Shenander, Mark Whipple, and Bill Bush. And obviously, Scott Frost, the head coach, you'll hear from. But you will only hear from the assistants one time, and that is going to be at some time before the season. We don't have the exact date yet, I believe, on there. But do we have the exact date for that?
They're going to be, Jake, they're going to be available several times.
Then the report I said was wrong.
Yeah.
The report I read was very wrong then.
Yeah.
What is your report on when the media will hear from the coaches, the assistants? Because I read something different then. If you have a different report than me, that's news to me.
Anyway, I mean, I think what you're getting at here is, I'll get to that. What you're getting at is the fact the assistant coaches have been available during the regular season in recent years. They will not now. The assistant coaches, meaning the non-coordinators.
Yes.
So that they will not be available during the season, and that caused somewhat of, I don't know, a minor dust up yesterday, which is ridiculous. Now, this is where
here we go. Here we go.
Yeah, this is where you go to the guy driving through right now.
Albuquerque.
Yeah, if we were on the radio ranting about assistant coaches not being available during the regular season, what would a guy from Albuquerque be thinking?
What the hell's wrong
Is
with
that
these
what
people?
these guys are talking about?
What's wrong with these people?
This is what the topic is. This has got the media their browser furrowed. I mean, what really? This is doing it? Why would you? Why in the first place? I've always wondered why those guys are available during the regular season. It doesn't happen anywhere. I mean, what place in the country has their inside linebackers coach stand up in front of 30 reporters and address the state of the program? Now, can you imagine if Nebraska this season is 4-3?
Okay.
4-3. Okay. That would mean that they probably lost to Oklahoma. And maybe they lose at Rutgers and at Purdue, and in mid-October they're 4-3. Now, do you want Barrett Ruud in front of 40 reporters addressing the state of the program?
No. So he'll be,
because that's what would happen.
Yep.
That's what would happen. You would put your running backs coach, your first-year running backs coach, Brian Applewhite, in a position to talk about the head coaching situation, because the reporters, they would do that, and it would be inappropriate and awkward. So I don't know who made this decision, but whoever did made a good decision. You shouldn't have the assistants in a season like this. You shouldn't have an assistant. I've always thought it was odd. Like, what are we doing? Why is a receivers coach talking to 40 reporters? If I were a head coach, there's no way in the world that would happen. None. So I'm not complaining about it, because it would be very hypocritical for me to do it. If I were a head coach, I wouldn't send especially in a season like this. We all know the situation, right?
Yes, we do. But
Now,
selfishly,
pushback,
haven't you enjoyed having that extra content though, and hearing from those guys?
We have enough content. There's players available.
I'm not against. I'm not like opposed to this at all. I'm with you on this. I think it is. If you're right, if Nebraska's in that instance, if Nebraska's 4-3, they got to win 2 more games. They've had a couple sketchy losses at that point. Then do you want Barrett Ruud? Do you want Mickey Joseph talking about the team and the state of the program? I don't know if you do. I mean, you might have a bunch of different messages that come out that aren't what the head coach wants it to be,
or the AD. I mean, but yeah, absolutely, the head coach would. I mean, if they were, I mean, I kind of understand the assistants when things are going good.
Yeah, sure. Put them out there, 7-0. Yeah, what's going on, man?
The reason
Let's talk it up.
Okay, so here's what the media schedule is though in the preseason. The reason, this is what it says. Okay, Jake, Friday, July 29th. So you're going to media days, as
yes,
am I.
I'll be there.
Big Ten media days in Indianapolis, which is Nebraska appears July 26th. Okay, and then when we get back that week, Friday will be the first media availability, and it will be Eric Shenander, selected defensive assistants and selected defensive players. Monday, August 1st, Whipple will be available after practice with selected offensive assistants. And then Bush on August 4th will be available with selected assistant coaches. Okay. Yeah, they're available. I don't know where you got that. There's one.
I'll tell you during the break.
Okay.
That somebody had a big mistake here.
Yeah. Then on August 8th, it's Chenander and selected defensive assistants. on August 10th, it's Whipple with selected offensive assistants.
Okay, this is a very errant report there by
Yeah.
a respected journalist. So
Yeah.
I'll just say it, leave it at that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know where that would come from. Now,
I'll show you during the break.
So yeah, I hope people understand that Nebraska gives more access to the media than probably, I'm going to say 75% of the schools. We have incredible access. We have an sort of an embarrassment of riches at Nebraska. So when people complain about it, I'm just taken aback completely. Because it's incredible how much we get. The players are available during the season on Mondays. A lot of the players. Then on Tuesdays again, they're available. That doesn't happen. I mean,
we have enough.
I bite my tongue all the time. Like, please don't complain, because if you keep complaining, they're going to take it. They're going to keep taking it away.
Yep.
This isn't unprecedented, by the way. Pelini went to 2 coordinators available during the week during the regular season, at least 1 year and maybe more than that. And you know what happened then? Then Beck went through a period where he wasn't talking, so it was just 1 coordinator available. And you know what? We all lived just fine.
We moved on.
Yeah, it was
survived
barely
the period.
Well, it survived. It wasn't even in position. I mean, it wasn't. I didn't see it as something that was affecting our coverage gravely at all. So, yeah,
I would ask,
get over it.
I would ask for anybody out there who believes this is a big deal that you're not hearing from the assistants during the season.
I don't think anybody does. I think there's some media that do.
I would ask you if there is that random person out there that believes that it's important to hear from all the assistant coaches at any given time. Why? Why is that so important versus just hearing from the coordinators and the head coach himself?
It doesn't happen anywhere.
464-5685.
It sure the hell doesn't happen in NFL. Do you ever see Dolphins assistants interviewed?
Nope, hardly ever.
Ever.
Very, very, very rare.
Do you ask the question, man, I would love to hear today from the wide receivers coach? No.
If they've had like 8 drops in a game, maybe, but that's about once in a blue moon.
Right. Tell me I'm wrong on this.
Yeah, I'm with you. As a fan and not a person that covers it, as a fan of the Dolphins, I don't ever desire to hear from those coaches besides the coordinator, the head coach,
and
coordinators.
Here's the thing. You will hear from the non-coordinator assistants this year. If you have to hear them, they're on Husker Sports Nightly on Thursdays.
Yep.
So they will be available on Thursdays. I also understand this is a different place. I mean, and assistants are household names at Nebraska. I get that. And when we're discussing this subject right now, much of my position has to do with the nature of the season. Because of the potential for awkwardness, it makes more sense not to have those assistants speaking for the program. And it doesn't even, it's not necessarily that if it gets bad, then it's bad. It's just, even if it's going good, you don't necessarily want it, because what's going to be the topic as the season goes on? Well, is Frost going to survive, or is he not going to survive? And then again, these guys would be in a position to answer some strange questions which they wouldn't really have any business answering. They shouldn't have any business answering, right?
Right.
So we're just lucky that Whipple and Chenander will be available every week.
Right.
That's the way I would
from the text line, Wet Blanket chimes in at 464-5685. This is a little bit of a sarcastic tone to it. Without access to the assistant coaches, how will we ever learn about the domains of learning, selecting cigars, and preparing Italian food? Without this information, we would be wasting our time focused on QB development.
Yeah,
I think he's in the same boat as all.
Here's the thing, like Mario Verduzco during the season, Jake, he was only available once or twice, and we all got along just fine. Okay. Greg Austin was only available last season, I'd say in the last 7 or 8 weeks, once or twice. Okay. That we're not going to miss that. That's not going to be something that detracts from coverage. That, I don't look at it like, oh, Nebraska's really holding back now. I mean, they're really tightening up. That's just really.
I'm just glad you have this viewpoint on this. That you're not freaking out. You think it's dumb because
I
it
think
frankly is dumb.
I think we get a ton of access, is what I think. Like a ton of access. No, I'd be the last one. I've been amazed over the years, over the course of years. I've had this conversation with people many times. Over the course of 25 years, I've always been amazed at the amount of access we get. I mean, even in rough times, we're getting incredible access. And where I was, if I can, the reason I cannot go down the road of bitching
There you go.
about this is because if I were a head coach, I would tighten things down considerably here. First of all, there's too much media. If anything that's said gets blown out of proportion, anything that's even close to controversial or questionable, it just becomes a freak show around here. I would limit it considerably. I would never probably share that with a head coach, any head coach here, but that's what I would do.
Well, what does that look like for you? What is
coordinators at the most?
Okay,
coordinators at the most.
Which will be the case during the season.
Yeah, I wouldn't go any further than that, and I would ponder why we're doing that a little bit. One voice makes sense to me. I think you make the players available, they can experience that. I think it can be it can help their growth. But I don't know. Would I make it mandatory for Mark Whipple to talk? No, if he doesn't want to, he doesn't want to. If Tim Beck didn't want to talk, there was a period where Tim Beck said, "I'm not doing this." Probably got misquoted and said, "I'm not doing this."
Yep.
And that was just fine. That was just fine.
If you damage what he said, but if you didn't say something that you reported he said, that's, of course, you lose the trust in the media. Of course, it happens all the time. People hear what they want, or they hear things wrong and don't double check, and all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah. And here's the thing, so people
Bad
understand.
Media out there.
I had this conversation with a coach the other day. When Tom Osborne was the coach, Jake, there would be 4 reporters after practice. Okay, 4 maybe. If there was something going on, if there was some sort of controversy or some arrest, then it would ramp up and there might be 5 to 10 reporters there, including the TV cameras. That's the most. But you see where I'm going with this?
Yes.
Tom knew everybody. And then that was the same with Frank. He knew everybody. So if there was a problem, he knew exactly who to address. Now you go over there, you know what it looks like. There's 45 reporters over there. The head coach or whoever can't possibly know all of them.
Nope.
There's information being put out from all these different places. Some of it's just ridiculous, and there's no real accountability. What I'm talking about is accountability. There was accountability. I mean, if I wrote something and it was wrong, I was going over the next day to talk to Tom Osborne anyway, right? Because I had to do that job. And yeah, there were times where after the little post-practice session with Tom, he'd pull you aside and say, "Hey, I don't know where you got that, but that's not right," or whatever it was. He'd want to address it, and he could address it right there. It never happens now because it'd be really awkward the way it's set up, right?
Very awkward.
Yeah. And
there's 40 people there.
The head coach can't possibly know who all those people are, right?
No.
So there's the accountability is limited.
Or read wherever the stuff's at. That's going to.
Yeah, that'd be
that would never happen. Let's get a call from Vince on the Honda of Lincoln hotline, 464-5685. Vince, you're on early break. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning, fellas. How are you?
Vince in Northern California. How are you doing?
Doing well, thank you. But anyhow, as far as the assistant coaches and media availability, I mean, I remember, when I was in school in Lincoln back in the mid '90s. I mean, this was obviously when Nebraska football was really at its zenith, and And I remember all the position coaches being available, and I didn't think any different at the time, but of course that was a different time because when everything's going great, that's just, it lends itself to better times as far as extensive availability. But and after a while, I didn't think anything of it, and then later on, I covered the Raiders as a freelance writer for a fan magazine. Now that was the total opposite as far as media availability of the assistant coaches. I mean, they were generally available across the board during training camp. I mean, I remember talking to Bill Callahan numerous times in training camp, but once training camp ended, all the assistant coaches, they weren't available. But the way I see it is this. I mean, are they really going to say anything different than what the coordinators or the head coach is going to say? I don't think so.
Vince, hold on,
Mm-hmm.
Vince. No, hold on. Okay. They might. Okay. Oh, it happens all the time. The messages get mixed. It can be really awkward, which is one reason why I wouldn't do it. Because sometimes you do get situations where an assistant addresses a situation in a much different way than the head coach. And it's like, okay, wait, well, what's going on here? Yeah, that happens.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, I could definitely see where it happens, but also more to the point, I mean, you're talking about, earlier the nature of this season and how things could potentially get awkward if Nebraska gets off to a less than ideal start. I mean, obviously if we start out 6-1, then yeah, the feeling around the program and the state is going to be a lot different. But I would also add that you look at these, like with these new assistant coaches, now, okay, I know Raiola comes from the NFL, but in Chicago, you have numerous other distractions, whether it's other pro teams or college teams in the area. Whereas in Nebraska, I mean, the Huskers are NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, all rolled into one. And you definitely make a good point about how things are different in general now as far as, media outlets are concerned, because, you're right. Back in the day, there was only, a handful of reporters, whereas now there's so many media outlets to where it almost resembles more of a State of the Union address. But more than anything, so since these coaches are new to this place, and it's probably a good idea to have this. Whether you're an assistant coach, whether you're a head coach, whether you're a coordinator, this is where you want to know when it's time to kick off, it's time to kick ass.
That's right. Doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter what's going on at kickoff, right?
That's right.
What time is it?
There he goes.
That's probably better.
It's a walk-off. Vince is gone.
Oh,
handed down his liner there.
Some needed levity.
Yes. Let's see from the text line.
I imagine my take is not all that popular.
Oh, it's popular. No
really?
one really wants the access. They don't really.
Well, hold on. It's not okay. Now, I don't want the access. It'd be fine.
I said
take
need.
it.
They don't need the access.
Yeah. There's a difference between wants and needs. It's nice. It'd be nice to have Mickey Joseph standing over there talking, on Tuesdays. And then next week having Donovan Raiola over there, especially if the offensive line struggled or had a really good week, then you want to hear from him. It's nice. But why can't you talk to Frost about that and Whipple about that? And that's sufficient, or the players themselves who are involved. It's not necessary is what I'm saying. It's not, I don't look at it as Nebraska. Oh God, here's Nebraska limiting access again. Oh my God. Geez, just look around the country. It doesn't. Ask Rick Kaczynski how many times as an assistant coach at Iowa he spoke to the media. It was probably like zero during the season. Zero during the season.
Kirk Ferentz is the voice.
Yeah.
He's the voice of Iowa.
And that's maybe
he speaks for them.
Extreme example, but Saban assistants don't talk to the media. I mean, Nebraska's an extreme example the other way. The access is, we get extremely good access. So I cringe when I see these guys on social media belly aching about this. Like, wait, be
Yeah,
careful.
by the
here.
way, for those asking, this is not out of nowhere. There was belly aching yesterday on social media.
Yeah.
This is not just us making stuff up.
Yeah,
We're addressing the belly aching, which we believe is ridiculous.
I just say you have to be careful with that because we're getting incredibly good access.
You're not entitled to all this access.
No.
Just because you're in the media.
When they
or
were
'cause
letting
you
us
want it.
they were letting us watch practice, I thought it was incredible. I mean, it was incredible what we were getting. So I never complain about it. I know other guys who cover other teams that say, God, you guys got it made. You have it made.
UNL student Cole, 19-year-old Cole,
Hi,
says,
Cole.
thank you for not being like the other medias who had a panic attack on Twitter about this.
Strange. I don't get it.
You got to take a step back and take a breath and think for a second before you just react and just have a panic attack, which is what happened yesterday. There's no need for it.
I don't know what the psychology is.
I don't
there.
either. Complain about anything if
Yeah.
it doesn't go what you want.
Right.
If it's not perfect, then
Right.
for, you're perfect. Excuse me.
Run to Twitter and
Bitch
yeah.
and moan
that's what we do.
a little bit.
Not we. I don't. But that's a lot of what the world is now, right?
Mike in Kansas says, how is this an issue to people? I don't care who talks, just win games and all is well.
Well, we do care who talks. You want accountability from your head coach,
Well,
right?
of course, the head coach always talks, though.
Right.
But do you even need it from the coordinators, though?
It's
You
nice.
don't need it, but
now,
it is nice.
Yeah, it's okay. Now that's a discussion. I would say yes on that, and I have said yes on that.
We're very glad to have access to it.
I think they probably should be available. The coordinators, Jake, especially after games.
I don't deny that. I'm just saying, is it completely necessary? Like, it's
Not completely.
Scott Frost is vital to hear from him.
Yeah. Well,
Got to
there's-
hear from Scott
There's
Frost.
no situation in which the head coach would be off
Absolutely.
limits. As far as the coordinators go, I think they should be available. The coordinators, highly paid higher than the assistants.
Mhm.
They're higher rank, and it does give you. And if in a program, any program, any organization, you do want consistent messages, right? You do. Now, a head coach and the coordinator should be able to have a consistent message. Now, when you get down to the position coaches, the message can get muddled and frankly, sometimes it's just different. You don't want that as the head coach. You don't want mixed messages coming from the top of your program.
Right.
If you just limit it to, now this is the way I would think if I were a head coach. If you just limit it to head coach and coordinators, let's be on the same page, guys.
Yep.
Harder to do that with this if you're letting 8 assistants go up there.
On that point, Doc chimes in, DOCK, and the text line says, I've always thought they had way too many voices in the program anyway, and it's hurt them. It's about time Scott learned that not everyone needs to be heard to have a clear message.
Right. I agree, Doc. I've long thought that too. I go way back on this. See, here's the thing though, Doc. Nebraska is unique in a good way, in that those assistants are more like household names. It's not that way everywhere. I mean, I don't know, pick a program where it's a little like Washington, the Washington Huskies. I'll bet you the assistant coaches aren't household names in the state of Washington, right? Too much other things
I
going
doubt-
on.
Yeah, probably
People
not.
people aren't clamoring to hear from the Washington Huskies receivers coach, right?
I would assume not.
I doubt the media gets on Twitter and says, "Oh God, we can't talk to the inside linebackers coach." I mean, no, they're not household names.
Yep.
Here's different.
This place is
It-
extreme.
Yeah, not in necessarily a bad way. It goes back. Hey, I'll tell you. I mean, Jake, there's no way you could know stuff like this, but when Osborne was the coach, you know what would happen? Okay, Saturdays they'd play the game during the fall. You know what they did? Now you could do this back then because there was only 2 or 3 reporters involved. They would make a different assistant coach available every Sunday morning. And you would go over
Okay.
the World Herald and the Lincoln Journal-Star, would go over to that coach's office at Memorial Stadium. Ron Brown, Milt Tenneper, George Darlington, Charlie McBride, whoever it was, whoever is designated that weekend. And that would be your Monday story. It was excellent. Now people are going to say, well, wait a second. Now you're being a hypocrite. You're changing your tune. It was different then because there were only 2 or 3 reporters involved. You couldn't do that now because you couldn't fit in
40 into an
office.
office.
You couldn't fit into their office. There'd be a minimum of 12 to 15 reporters over there. You can't do that. I mean, it's just not. It's logistically impossible now. So it was different. So a lot of my thinking has changed just because of the number of reporters involved now. You have websites that send 6 reporters to practice. Yep. Legitimate.
I know. I'm very aware of it. I've seen it.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of my opinion has just changed because of the sheer amount of people that are covering the program now.
Yes.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I'm glad we got that out.
Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. No reason, you don't need to freak out, people or media. Everything's gonna be fine. You'll hear enough from the coaches and the coordinators this year. We'll all survive together.
And to be clear, the assistant coaches are available on Thursday nights on Husker Sports Nightly. 1 a week. That's what we get as a mass of reporters is 1 a week or 2 a week, 1 a week. So that's where we're at.
Sean Callahan next, an early break in the ticket.
Yo, it's the captain, Rashawn Jackson. Join me this Wednesday at Wingstop at 28th and Pine Lake Road from 11 to 2 for your Husker sports talk and, most importantly, wings. That's Wednesday at Wingstop at 28th and Pine Lake, the official sponsor of the captain. Order wings ahead at wingstop.com. See you there.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back in the future. Starter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. StarterHeyman.com.
It's time to start thinking about what's next. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Southeast Community College wants to be part of your conversation. SCC Discovery Days give you an immersive look at our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford. Come take a tour, meet our instructors and students, ask questions, and see all the new things SCC has been doing and building in the last few years. See more and register online at southeast.edu/visit SCC. Your path to possible.
Shopping for insurance can be a tedious and frustrating task, but the agents at Brokers Insurance Agency will do the work for you. They have partnered with over 20 of the best insurance carriers in the nation, which allows them to do the shopping all for you. Whether you're looking for business insurance or employee benefits for your company, or you're looking to save money on your home and auto insurance, Brokers Insurance Agency has the agents and solutions to help meet your goals. Call 402-420-5353 or email staff@brokersinsurancene.com.
At Venue Catering and Events, we offer 2 of the most historic ballrooms in Lincoln. The Jasmine Room, located in the historic Grand Manse in the heart of downtown, featuring a beautiful built-in antique bar, spacious patio, and soaring skylit ceilings. The Scottish Rite Ballroom, located just 2 blocks from the state's capital, boasts intricate hand-carved columns, rich dark wood floors, and lavish chandeliers. The perfect venues to host your wedding, corporate event, or much more. For availability and more information, call us at 402-603-6483.
The Ticket Water Cooler with Jake Bakoven and Nathan Bennett.
Let's take it a step further. If Nebraska wins the division, that means they go to the Big Ten Championship. They win the Big Ten Championship, that means they go to the playoff. They go to the playoff, now we're cooking with gas. I don't agree with you. I don't know what to tell you. That's ridiculous.
Weekdays from 3 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The 2022 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and we need you in Memorial Stadium this fall. A customizable Husker football 3-game mini plan is on sale now for only $180. To purchase your 2022 Husker football 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 402-472-3111. Go Big Red.
They say one great thing leads to another, and that's especially true when you visit a Great Clips salon. When you sit down for a haircut with the skilled and friendly stylist at one of our thousands of convenient Great Clips locations, they'll not only make your hair look great, they'll make you feel great too. And that's something you can't help but share with the world. Download our online check-in app today and opt in to get a Ready Next text when you're up next. Great Clips. It's going to be great.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Mike Shaver here for Trek CBD. Summer is here, and that means you're having garage parties with neighbors, hitting the golf course and the pool. The drink of this summer isn't your typical seltzer. It's drinkable Delta 8. Yep, Trek CBD has drinkable Delta 8 seltzers with mango and lime flavors for 4-packs, 12-packs, coming in a variety of mango, watermelon, lime, and berry. They also have hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups to put in your beverages, and as always, the excellent Delta 8 gummies. Trek CBD at 84th and Andermatt and TrekCBD.com. Trek CBD, CBD done right.
We're on the air.
Back
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
to more of Early Break with Sip and Jake.
Sipple, you are an idiot.
Brought to you by Gaina Trucking. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Dang it.
Well, we are under a week away from Media Days beginning in Indianapolis. Next Tuesday we'll be out there, and Wednesday is day 2. And then we're on to the season. Fall camp begins next week as well. So it is coming up on us quickly. We're joined now by Sean Callahan. Good morning, Sean. Yesterday we got the practice schedule out for the fall and then the media schedule for the season as well. And there's been some people freaking out that you won't hear from the assistants outside the coordinators during the season. Is there any reason for that type of freak out, Sean, or are you fine the way that it's going to be set up this year?
Having the assistants has always been a nice thing, but I've always known that was a rare thing too. It wasn't necessarily common, with college football around the country. But I understand the fans and really love hearing from the assistant coaches. Nebraska is a very unique place. But with that said, I do look at how it's structured, when we're around the program and we get the Monday press conference with the coach and the players. And at some schools, that might be all you get. And then on Tuesday, we still get the coordinators and the players. There is nothing Wednesday. Then Thursday is obviously the day with Coach Frost. So Tuesday is the only day you could really do it. And you already have the coordinators. You already have the players. So it's kind of tough. The way the week is laid out, without having like a day like Wednesday, how would, and you're already getting the coordinators, it's pretty hard to ram the assistants in there too on a Tuesday. And we're still going to get them in fall camp. But yeah, it's not something I'm going to go publicly complain about on Twitter and, make a big deal about. But yeah, it was a nice thing, but I can see maybe both sides of it, I guess.
Really? Would you privately complain about it?
No, I don't know. They're much more. We're still going to be around the program and talking to the players and the coordinators. The one I saw somebody say, it'd be nice though to get the special teams coordinator too, Bill Bush, in that group during the season if there's stuff regarding special teams. But yeah, it is what I'd like to know how many teams get all their assistants during the season.
How many do you think there is? How many do you think there are? If you had to guess,
probably less than 20% of the Power 5.
Yeah, that'd be really high to me. I'd say less than 5. I
know when I go to conventions and meetings and talk to other guys from college football teams, they were always amazed, at all the assistants, and we got all that during the season. They're like, wow, it's either just the head coach or the coordinators like this. Having, the running backs coach being interviewed by 40 people, that was pretty not normal.
So by Sean Callahan. Sean, media days next week in Indianapolis. I'm curious as we begin fall camp next week as well. What is your biggest question ahead of the season that you have for Nebraska that you want that will hopefully get answered sooner rather than later?
I guess the quarterback position, with Casey Thompson, where's he at? We know he had a surgery at the end of the spring. Is he ready? And if he's not, is Chuck Purdy, pushing him and where's that battle at? I mean, I think that's where I'll start, because I think a lot of the season will depend on the quarterback play and what this offense looks like. What's Mark Whipple's role going to be in the big picture? We think he's going to be pretty much running the show, calling the plays. How will that dynamic work this year with Coach Frost, who previously has always called the plays and run the offense, for most of his coaching career, going back to Oregon. So where will that go with the offense going forward?
Let's be clear. Have you heard anything, Sean Callahan, to suggest that Casey Thompson's not ready to play in camp?
No. And I think, some of these interviews that are coming out now on like the radio, those were done back in June. And I think some of those comments, if there was a comment about his thumb or surgery or this or that, that was too much. I mean, that was early June when these interviews took place. But yeah, he's back throwing it. We posted one on the Husker Online YouTube page that Janiram Bonner mentioned something about Casey's thumb, and the same thing. We taped that interview back in June, but we had to wait to have it published this week. So it is, he's fine throwing the ball from, everyone I've talked to.
Sean Callahan joins us. Sean, what were your, we had the event at Tanner's. The ticket had the event at Tanner's on Monday night. Was it Monday? Yeah, Monday night.
Monday.
And Scott Frost addressed the crowd briefly. What was your impressions of Scott during that night and what you heard from Scott without getting into exactly what he said?
He looked comfortable, but also very focused. I mean, he just kind of has an edge to him right now.
Yeah.
You can sense it. I don't want to say it's a Bo Pelini chip on his shoulder, but he's got a chip on his shoulder right now. You can sense that. I think about his entire life, and he's probably never been in a position like he is right now. He's always kind of had control of his situations as an athlete, as a coach, coming up the ranks. And this is one where he knows, like, hey, this is a big year, and a lot's on the line for a lot of people. And I got that sense on Monday night at Tanner's, just sensing that this has to, you can just feel it. And I know everyone's you say that every year.
We don't say that.
Got great camaraderie. They had team barbecues and this and that, but you can sense it with him that he's pretty locked in.
We also heard from O'Shawn Mathis and Garrett Nelson with Trey Palmer that night too, Sean. And I'm just curious regarding the pass rush. We feel pretty good about it. Do you think Nebraska will actually have a consistently very good pass rush this season with those guys?
They have to. O'Shawn, first of all, led the Big 12 in sacks in 2020.
Okay.
He was, in the middle of the pack, I believe, in 2021. But he's put together 2 really good years. Garrett has gotten better every year, and the gains he's made, he's going to put up numbers. Caleb Tanner can get to the quarterback too. So I feel like they have 3 guys at that edge position that can get to the quarterback. And yeah, they should be able, in my opinion, to get to a quarterback now with the 4-man rush, with that trio of players. And then on the interior at the defensive line, you have guys like Ty Robinson that can be disruptive. Stephon Wynn. So there are guys there, I believe, in that defensive front group that no doubt should be able to get to the quarterback, led by Garrett and O'Shawn Mathis.
Nuts and bolts question, Sean Callahan. Devin Drew is not on campus as yet. About when will he arrive?
I think it's August 4th is when Texas Tech finishes summer school. So whenever he graduates and is able to finish his undergraduate degree, and this is not a surprise. I mean, Nebraska knew that he had to finish his online class and before he could be cleared to go, because He wants to get his degree and be eligible to play, obviously, and he had to finish at Texas Tech in order to graduate and get here. So that's the deal. I mean, I think the positive is that he's played a lot of Division I football already at Texas Tech. So it's not like he's a high school kid coming in that late. I mean, this is a guy that's been able to play. But yeah, it is concerning because you want everybody here all summer if you can, and he's not going to get here until the first week. And there have been pretty good success stories of guys showing up the first week. So I go back to Randy Gregory and Levante David. They didn't show up till like August 4th, and David led the Big 12 in tackles, and Gregory led the Big 10 in sacks as first-year players. So I'm not saying he's going to do something like that, but you can come in still if you're a dude. I mean, Maurice Washington didn't lift a weight all summer, didn't eat a Dave Ellis meal all summer, and he was stringing off 50-yard runs his first day of practice. If
Right.
you have it, you have it. I mean, and hopefully this guy will at least give Nebraska what they need, and that's quality rotational depth.
There you go. Sean Callahan joins us. Okay, we always go in the weeds with you. I want to pull out of the weeds and just ask a very simple question. Who is Nebraska's best player on offense, and who is Nebraska's best player on defense?
Yeah, that's a really broad one here at 7 a.m.
Who's their best player? It's not that broad. Who's their best player on offense?
God, you can go a lot of ways.
Come on, there's only one best.
Without seeing some of the newcomers, I mean, it could be Trey Palmer. I mean, it really could.
Okay.
I hate to say like an offensive lineman. It could be Teddy Prohaska, though. It could be Travis Vokalek.
Those are good names.
I'll say Trey Palmer will be my prediction. Like I think he could be 1,000-yard receiver this year.
Okay. Who's the best player on defense? It's a little tougher on that side, I think.
Garrett Nelson.
Better than O'Shawn.
Yeah.
Tough one, isn't it?
It's a tough one until we see what they put together. But I think Garrett Nelson is on a trajectory path, and he's the leader of the team, that he's going to be their best player. I mean, Tommy Hill could end up being their best player. I mean, he's potentially really talented. Luke Reimer, if he can stay fully healthy, he could be their best player. I mean, there's a lot of guys you could go. It's not just one easy pick, and I think you would be in the same boat as me on that, Sip.
I would be. I battle it. Might be a column, Sean. Might be a
coming
column.
soon.
Yeah.
Coming soon.
Yeah.
Sean, always good stuff. Thanks for the time. We will chat with you again next week.
All right. Hey, thanks, guys.
God bless you.
Sean Callahan.
Garrett. I'd take Garrett on defense. It's close, though. It's either Garrett Nelson or O'Shawn. You saw Garrett the other night. If people see him, he's
a big dude.
He's gone. He's taken his physique to another level.
He was a giant.
Yeah. That's a big
on Monday
dude.
night.
That's a big, big
O'Shawn's
dude.
a big dude also.
Yeah. He's more linear.
We expected that, though.
Yeah.
But Garrett has gotten a lot bigger, strong.
Right.
Big dude.
Right. Those are impressive individuals, size-wise. And just impressive individuals.
Yeah. Well-spoken. They were very mature up there.
Yeah. Reimer's an interesting case. I mean, he's very talented. As you remember, we always had that conversation when Nebraska played at Northwestern during the pandemic, how more quickly Luke Reimer got to the ball than anybody. Remember that?
Yes.
You were there.
Yeah, he was a bullet.
Yeah.
He was a bullet.
Yeah. Reimer is a very low-key guy. He doesn't get heavily involved in, I don't know, NIL and appearances.
Plays ball, man.
He's a
He
ball
just plays
player.
ball.
Yeah, he's a ball player. But he's a good one. And that health issue is he just needs to stay healthy.
He stays healthy. He could put it together. Great
Offense,
season.
I just can't go with Palmer right now as
I
the
can't
best
either.
player. I just don't want to put that on him. I'd say Vokalek. But man, you're talking about a guy. How many catches did he have last year? 6? I mean, isn't that many?
I mean, I'd go to Prohaska. He only played 2 games last year.
Right. I don't know.
That's why it's concerning an offense.
Yeah, kind of.
Like you're optimistic about Mark Whipple and all the new faces you have, but if I'm saying potentially your best player is a guy that played 1.5 quarters or 1.5 games last year in Teddy Prohaska, that's reason for concern. Major concern.
I'm tempted to say Anthony Grant, but he was
haven't
playing
seen him either.
No, he's playing at New Mexico Military Institute last season. I'm tempted to say him based on what I've been hearing, but yeah, it's hard. I guess I don't know. I said it's harder on defense. I don't know which side of the ball it's harder on. It's a different conversation, though. It's a much different conversation on offense than it is defense. There's
several good options on defense.
Yeah.
Offense, I'm not sure what the great option is.
Sean mentioned Tommy Hill. I think you got to mention Quentin Newsome if you're going to mention Tommy Hill. Quentin might be the best player on defense.
There's good options. There's a lot of options there. Song of the day is next on Early Break in the Ticket.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Registration is now open for all fall sports leagues through Lincoln Parks and Rec. Adult volleyball, kickball, softball, and youth NFL flag football. Competitive and recreational leagues are available, so whether you're an athlete, a former athlete, or a wannabe athlete, there's a league for you. Plus, check out their paid opportunities for officials and referees. Contact Lincoln Parks and Rec to learn more, or head to teamsideline.com/LincolnNE before July 24th to register your team. That's teamsideline.com/LincolnNE.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sutter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SutterHeyman.com.
They say one great thing leads to another, and that's especially true when you visit a Great Clips salon. When you sit down for a haircut with the skilled and friendly stylist at one of our thousands of convenient Great Clips locations, they'll not only make your hair look great, they'll make you feel great too. And that's something you can't help but share with the world. Download our online check-in app today and opt in to get a Ready Next text when you're up next. Great Clips. It's going to be great.
At Venue Catering and Events, we offer two of the most historic ballrooms in Lincoln. The Jasmine Room located in the historic Grand Manse in the heart of downtown, featuring a beautiful built-in antique bar, spacious patio, and soaring skylit ceilings. The Scottish Rite Ballroom, located just 2 blocks from the state's capital, boasts intricate hand-carved columns, rich dark wood floors, and lavish chandeliers. The perfect venues to host your wedding, corporate event, or much more. For availability and more information, call us at 402-603-6483.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
It's time to start thinking about what's next. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Southeast Community College wants to be part of your conversation. SCC Discovery Days give you an immersive look at our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford. Come take a tour, meet our instructors and students, ask questions, and see all the new things SCC has been doing and building in the last few years. See more and register online at southeast.edu/visit SCC. Your path to possible.
Hello, everybody. Charlie Stone here. And through the years, as I've gotten to know Andy Goodyear, general manager of Honda of Lincoln, quite well, one of the things that I have really liked about Andy is you will always get honest, straight talk from him. Joining me now, Andy Goodyear. What's the latest news at Honda of Lincoln?
As I've said before, when you drive by Honda of Lincoln, you may not see the new vehicle you're looking for, but on the way, we have more than 300 new cars to choose from, so don't hesitate to stop in or go shop online.
I know that used cars are big right now. What can you tell us about it?
We have a great selection, Charlie. More than 125 to choose from. And what I want people to know is we sell more than just Hondas.
All makes and models, right?
All makes and models, cars, SUVs, truck, with fresh trades arriving daily. If you're looking for something other than a Honda, we just might have it.
Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
You love to bash his sports takes.
Now, will you feel like an idiot if you're
No,
a big tough?
never feel like an
If
idiot.
you're a big tough guy this morning,
But you really love to voice your displeasure for his music choices.
he stumbled on an issue that I did not think would generate this much passion and discussion.
It's time for Jake's questionable song of the day on Early Break on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Red lips, hair and fingernails. I hear you and me no Jezebel. Let's go upstairs and read my tarot card. Come on. Stay with me. Stay with me. For tonight you better stay with me. Oh, yeah. Stay with me. Stay with me. For tonight you better stay with me. Oh, Walker.
Song of the day, Stay With Me by Faces. 464-56851 is bad. 10 is good. Text your rating on the Sauter Heyman Jewelers Song of the Day.
So in the morning, please don't say you love me. 'Cause you know I'll only kick you out the door. Yeah, I pay your cafe home. Could even use my best cologne. Just don't be here in the morning when I wake up. Come on, honey. Stay with me. Stay with me. 'Cause tonight you're gonna stay with me. Sit down, get up, get down. Stay with me. Stay with
Once again, your Song of the Day, Stay With Me by Faces. 464-56851 is bad. 10 is good. Text your rating on the Sauter Heyman Jewelers Song of the Day.
Whoa. You are on a roll.
I wasn't
Good
sure you'd
job.
like that,
Oh,
but-
come on. I don't like all Rod Stewart.
Yeah.
But I like most Rod Stewart. I saw him.
See, I
at the,
thought you told me once you didn't like him at all.
I think you're talking. You're
I might be assuming.
You're
wrong.
mistaking me
Mistaken
for
it.
some
somebody else.
some lame-o.
Oh, sorry.
No, I
Excuse
like
me for that lame-o I was thinking of.
No, I like
My
Rod
bad.
Stewart. I saw him at Pinnacle and he was excellent.
Oh, you did? Was that with Santana?
Yeah, that was a great show. Rod was. I don't know. He was the main act.
Yeah, Santana was
Santana
first.
was a strangely
opening.
good undercard. Rod was good, not great, because I like old Rod Stewart like that. Maggie May
May.
and Hot Legs.
Downtown Train.
No, Downtown Train is not old Rod Stewart.
Well, it's Rod Stewart though.
Yeah, it's not old Rod.
How am I supposed to
Stewart.
know it's old? and
Downtown
what's-
Train is an example of when I started getting out of Rod
Oh,
Stewart.
okay.
Oh, yeah, that's a great song right there. That's in the 9s. That's a classic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got a 9.8 yesterday.
Yeah, well, yeah. That was Bob Seger.
Yeah.
You're still the same.
That's right.
Still the same.
Still the same.
And I've been thinking about that. I thought about that song all yesterday. And that's a great one.
Yeah,
It was in my head this
I got
morning.
a 9.8 and a 9.5 from Gus.
Okay, that song today's a 9.1.
Wow.
Oh, I mean, I've always
Two in a
thought it
row
was an
in the
incredible rock song. I mean, just listen to the guitars. It's just it has it's edgy. It just an incredible feel to it. Incredible era.
9.1.
Yeah, 9.1.
Okay, we got to guess Gus's score.
He loved it.
I think
He
he's
loved
I think
it.
he's high again, but 8.5.
I think he's high
I think
again.
well,
He's 19,
high
so he
on the
might be
score.
high.
Very
Are you
possible.
high? Are you high?
I like the song.
Yeah, I bet he does.
Yeah, that's how he responds
I
to that
bet he
question.
does.
Are you high?
I bet he does. What do you
I
think?
went 8.5.
Okay. Oh, he never goes. Well, yeah.
He just teased he liked it.
Yeah.
He just gave away a little bit there.
And he never goes like 8.7.
Nope, it's always a 0.5 or
Did he go 9 is the question. I'm going to say, can I just say he went 8.5 too?
yeah, that's
8.5.
fine.
You're on a roll, Jake. I went 9.
Whoa. I knew he'd
Should've
like
gone
that
with your
song.
second
That was a good
guess.
song.
Yeah, you like that, don't you? I knew
Yeah.
he'd like that.
I'm on a roll.
Coming with
Gus?
the energy. That was that was pretty good.
I always try
Jake-
to bring the energy.
Jake, Gus likes that old stuff.
I know he does, and I respect
If it's
that. from
good old
Gus.
stuff.
Respect that from Gus.
Did he like that Clapton song that I didn't like?
Yeah.
Oh,
Red
the
Monday.
Cream song?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
cream
Cream.
song.
That was okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I think I probably gave it like a 7 or
Yeah,
something.
it wasn't as high as these last 2
No,
days.
these last
Bob
two-
Seger and today
bet
Faces
you're a
Rod
serious role.
I went home and I listened to that Bob Seger song again.
Did you like it?
Still the same.
That was good.
What's
Yeah.
a great song. Do that today too with this one.
I need to do that. I have
Stay
more
With Me.
time today to do that. I have more
Is it
time.
a sandwich song today?
I don't know if I'll make a sandwich or not, but I'll definitely play that again.
Okay.
Good job.
All right.
What are you hearing from the thank you, guys.
Thanks, Gus. Text line. A lot of responses there. 5 from Craig. Let's see. Rod says a 6, 8.8 from John, 7 from Joe and Boulder, Doug and Lincoln on 7.5. Grandpa Rick says a Wednesday tweener, a 5.
Okay, tweener. Okay. All right.
Jay Stu says 2.7. Sounds like he has a cold.
He kind of sounds like that.
Let's see. Breezy, forgettable, 3. It's not very high scores so far.
Nope.
Henry, 6.8. Bubba, a 1. John and Fremont, a 6. Jennifer, we met at Tanner's and Tavern
And
180.
hubby.
Jennifer, 6. She says, nope. Hubby, 8. Jake, you're on a roll.
Okay.
Jennifer didn't like that song.
Oh.
Hubby did, though.
Okay, that's okay.
Sean in Omaha, 8.9. Finally, some good rock. Mike in Kansas says that gravelly voice a bit much, 4.8. Let's see. Corey and Lincoln,
Corey.
5.
5. Huh. I am not underwhelmed by that song. Never am. And you surprised me a little bit. I didn't see you coming with Rod Stewart or Bob Seger
That's what I
back to
try
back
to do.
days. No, I didn't. Bob Seger, Rod Stewart back to back days is a really pleasant development for me.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
Now, if you came with what would be next, that would be really pleasing for
Well,
me.
I don't want to just
No,
cater
don't.
to this now.
No, Hendrix. It'd be.
I have played Hendrix twice.
I know.
I played him twice. Within the last year, probably.
Every time I hear Hendrix, it just sounds incredibly good. Incredibly good.
Maybe you'll get one sometime soon.
Yeah. Every time I hear him. Lou Rawls always sounds good.
All right, I got a couple minutes for the mailbag real quick. Let's get to it right now. From Trent, he has a very important question.
Trent.
There are a lot of fast food chicken restaurants in this world. Which one is the best?
Kentucky Fried Chicken. Stock answer. God,
No
it always
questions
tastes
asked.
good. The chicken.
This depends on if you're talking about like
No, it does-
is Chick-fil-A the same type of food as KFC?
Chick-fil-A's really good. Chick-fil-A's
Is that
really
the same
good.
chicken category as KFC?
I'd say not. KFC's just that goes to childhood. I just remember instances in my childhood where KFC chicken just tasted incredibly good and it still tastes that way. And I'm talking though about the chicken. I'm not talking about the chicken
sides?
sandwich. And
Okay.
I'm not talking
Oh, yeah.
about the nuggets. I'm talking about the chicken, the breast.
the bucket of chicken.
Yeah, the bucket of chicken.
See, KFC doesn't. Chick-fil-A doesn't have
Right,
that.
that's what's
so I'm
different.
saying, what's the categories
Yeah.
here?
When
We're
you
talking about
take
chicken restaurant,
when you take a big breast of Kentucky Fried Chicken and eat that white meat, it's
it's a game
just
changer.
doesn't. Yeah.
It's a good-
and you know
it's a
what?
good day right
You know
there.
what's really hard? You know what's really hard? Crispy or not crispy? I don't know. I like the
Have you done
bucket.
both?
I like the bucket where you get both because I like them both. Hard choice. Hard choice.
Yeah, I'd say Chick-fil-A, but it's different types of
Different
chicken. I mean,
type,
if you're
yeah.
going like for actual restaurants that have breasts and legs and everything, I think it's KFC.
KFC is dangerous.
You got Popeyes in that category.
Yeah.
Church's Chicken, which is not around here.
KFC is dangerously good. Is
Very
what?
good.
Yeah.
Brad says, I have a buddy that is trying to tell me that Powerade is better than Gatorade. Is he crazy?
Well, what's the difference?
There's difference. Oh, there's difference. And Brad, yeah, your buddy is crazy. Gatorade is superior to Powerade.
What's the difference? Can you verbalize it?
It's a different taste. Powerade,
Thanks.
Powerade's fine, but it
Thanks
feels
for
like,
nothing.
it feels to me like Powerade is the off-brand version
Yeah.
of Gatorade. It's a big brand. It's like Coke versus Pepsi in that, but it feels like it's a distant second to Coke,
Yeah,
which I believe is first ahead of Pepsi.
I never grab Powerade. When
Exactly.
I'm thirsty after a workout and I want to get a Gatorade or some drink like that, I don't even think about Powerade.
Yeah,
go right
if
to
I see somebody at the gas station that sees Gatorade, Powerade next to each other, and they take a Powerade, I'm just like, why? Why would you do that? Why would you even
What
think
you
to do
said
that?
is there's a taste difference, I guess.
Yep. Last question comes from Tommy. Tommy says, "Do you guys ever run at all? And if so, how often?"
Well, you used to, and I used to.
I'd say I run about 3 times a month.
Okay. I don't run anymore. I would say that there was a long period of my life where I was, I think, a legit runner. I mean, I was running 50 plus miles a week.
That's
easily.
That's legit. That's
easily.
Legit.
I mean,
Did
I
you
would
ever
never
have any knee pain from that at all?
I had a lot. I started getting a lot of pain.
So it did affect you.
So yeah, then it became a point when I was about 47 that I just couldn't run. I mean, it just got to the point where I just couldn't do it. But and I probably abused myself a little bit. I just go on a 10-mile run and not stretch, not do the necessary things. I ran in the heat way too much, probably. But I'd never run under 6 miles, and sometimes my long runs were 12 to 15. And then I trained for a marathon and shelled out one time. I got to the 22 miler right before it, the big run, shelled out. Yeah. Ran it too fast.
I don't have it in me. I can't do 22 miles. I can do probably a half marathon again if I train for it. I don't know if I have a full in me though. By the way, a lot of people responding saying Popeyes is king over KFC.
Okay, that's just personal preference.
I don't mind Popeyes.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. KFC nostalgia there, Yeah. You didn't have Popeyes growing up in Columbus, right?
No.
There's no Popeyes in Beatrice. There was a KFC, though.
Mm-hmm.
They had this weird time where they went to KGC, Kentucky Grilled Chicken. Dead serious.
What the hell happened?
No. There was at the
Why
time,
did that
probably in
happen?
the late mid 2000s, where KFC wanted to have this big, healthy kick.
Oh, God.
Which is all against the fried chicken part. You're going there to have an unhealthy meal. You know that going in.
Yeah.
But like Beatrice changed their sign to Kentucky Grilled Chicken for many years. Now it's back to KFC.
Yeah, that's strange.
It was strange.
Yeah.
Strange times. We don't need to go back to those
No,
times
we don't
at
need
all.
to talk about that.
If I'm eating at KFC,
Let's not talk about that.
If I'm going to KFC,
Yeah.
I know it's not good for me. I'm just taking, the risk I don't die of an artery clog.
Oh, come on. Relax.
Knowing it tastes delicious, though.
Yeah, you're not gonna
It
get-
would be worth the clogged artery, I suppose.
Yeah.
Top of the hour next. I'm going to ask you, hey, could Nick Saban really coach 10 more seasons?
Good question.
That's next. Top of the hour, early break in the ticket.
Mike Shaver here for Trek CBD. Summer is here, and that means you're having garage parties with neighbors, hitting the golf course and the pool. The drink of this summer isn't your typical seltzer. It's drinkable Delta 8. Yep, Trek CBD has drinkable Delta 8 seltzers with mango and lime flavors for 4-packs, 12-packs, coming in a variety of mango, watermelon, lime, and berry. They also have hemp-derived Delta 9 syrups to put in your beverages, and as always, the excellent Delta 8 gummies. Trek CBD at 84th and Andermatt and TrekCBD.com. Trek CBD, CBD done right.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
The 2022 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and we need you in Memorial Stadium this fall. A customizable Husker football 3-game mini plan is on sale now for only $180. To purchase your 2022 Husker football 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 402-472-3111. Go Big Red.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at freedmanlaw.com today.
Registration is now open for all fall sports leagues through Lincoln Parks and Rec. Adult volleyball, kickball, softball, and youth NFL flag football. Competitive and recreational leagues are available, so whether you're an athlete, a former athlete, or a wannabe athlete, there's a league for you. Plus, check out their paid opportunities for officials and referees. Contact Lincoln Parks and Rec to learn more, or head to teamsideline.com/LincolnNE before July 24th to register your team. That's teamsideline.com/LincolnNE.
They say one great thing leads to another, and that's especially true when you visit a Great Clips salon. When you sit down for a haircut with the skilled and friendly stylist at one of our thousands of convenient Great Clips locations, they'll not only make your hair look great, they'll make you feel great too. And that's something you can't help but share with the world. Download our online check-in app today and opt in to get a ready next text when you're up next. Great Clips. It's going to be great.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The Ticket Water Cooler with Jake Bakoven and Nathan Brennan.
Let's take it a step further. If Nebraska wins the division, that means they go to the Big Ten championship. They win the Big Ten championship, that means they go to the playoff. They go to the playoff, now we're cooking with gas. I don't agree with you. I don't know what to tell you. That's ridiculous.
Weekdays from 3 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
It's time to start thinking about what's next. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Southeast Community College wants to be part of your conversation. SCC Discovery Days give you an immersive look at our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford. Come take a tour, meet our instructors and students, ask questions, and see all the new things SCC has been doing and building in the last few years. See more and register online at southeast.edu/visit SCC. Your path to possible.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Wake up, Lincoln.
Come on, it's 6 o'clock. Rise and shine, rise and shine.
It's time for Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
Did seem kind of meh.
And Steve Sipple.
Surprisingly good.
This is Early Break with Sip and Jake, sponsored by Gaina Trucking.
Welcome back to Hour 2 on a Wednesday. Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, Early Break. The show is sponsored by Gaina Trucking. Check out their current job openings, as always, at GainaTrucking.com. Thanks to Sean Callahan for joining us in the first hour. You can check that out at the podcast page at theticketfm.com. Call or text, as always, at 464-5685 and watch us on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter.
Thank you to Bagels and Joe.
Yes, that coffee is saving us this morning, as it always does.
Yes, it is.
Snickerdoodle.
Yeah, and it is wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Bagels.
It's saving you?
Yeah, it is.
You weren't drinking it on Monday for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I brought
It was
water.
weird. Yeah, it's like Monday. You need a kick a little bit there, don't you?
I don't know. I feel like I'm way better if I have a coffee.
Yeah, well, you are.
I don't need your opinions on that.
Hey, we're all better with a cup of coffee. It's just reality. It's be true. SEC Media Days roll on, Sip. Day 3 of 4 is today. They'll wrap things up tomorrow in Atlanta. And yesterday, Nick Saban was one of the coaches who spoke at the podium. We'll get to another one that spoke next segment and what he said that was ridiculous for a terrible program in the SEC. But Alabama is not a terrible program, Sip. And Nick Saban is 70 years old. He is 9 years older than the next oldest coach in the SEC. Who is? You got a guess there?
The next oldest coach in the SEC is Mike Leach at age 61.
That is correct.
Yes. Mike Leach is 61.
That's right.
I don't know after that.
I was reading this article from CBS Sports, and
that's where I read that. By the way,
you cheated. You cheated. It was a trivia question, and you cheated on it.
Yes, I cheated.
So Nick Saban's 70 years old, and he says that there's people out there that are trying to recruit against him, saying he's close to retirement. He says it's not true. That's just a lie. They're trying to get kids away from me. Now, keep in mind, Bobby Bowden coached until age 80 at Florida State. Joe Paterno was age 84 when he was done at Penn State. So I'm asking you this, Sip. Nick Saban is not showing any signs at all of slowing down. They are very good still. They've not stopped in recruiting. The teams are almost always in the playoff or at least in the championship game. Do you believe Nick Saban could coach another 10 years at Alabama to age 80? Now, the thing that would halt this is all this movement in college football. We've seen coaches in basketball like Jay Wright step down at, probably earlier than you think he would at Villanova.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Saban doesn't sound like he's bent that way. He sounds like he's willing to wrestle with the changes in the college game. What he said, you saw what he said, and I will read what he said. This is good. This is interesting. He said, "I love my job," Nick Saban said on the SEC Network set. "I love it." He said, "I love the relationships with players." When you think of Nick Saban, you don't think of that, but that's what he said. "I love the relationships with players." He said, "I love the competition, the preparation for games. I just love it." He said, this is what Nick Saban said.
Okay.
"I wish you all would ask all the other coaches who come up here, because they tell the recruits I'm going to retire. Ask him how they know I'm going to retire when all I think about is what am I going to do if I retire, because I love what I'm doing now. So how am I going to possibly be happy not coaching?" Yeah, he wants to he sent a loud shot over the bow that don't negative recruit because I'm not going anywhere. Now, Leach 61, Stoops 55.
Mark Stoops,
Yeah, Mark Stoops. Saban 70. Now 80. I don't know if he'll go to 80. Now he is fit. He seems very much
aged
with
much
it.
at
Yeah,
all,
it doesn't
has he?
seem like he ages that much at all. Now he loves his job. He loves the relationships with players. He loves the competition. He loves the preparation. You know what he loves also is winning. Now, if he loses 3 games this year, with a tough schedule, by the way, I don't think they'll lose 3, but it's a tough schedule. They're at Texas, they're at Arkansas, they're at Tennessee, they're at LSU, they're at Ole Miss. That's not going to be easy, even for Alabama.
They're not scared.
Well, of course they're not scared, but come on. The question, Jake, is how much does his tune change if he has 3 losses on the docket
this year?
Yeah. Then what is it? I bet the answer is a little different.
Does that piss him off more, make him even more fiery for age 71 next year?
Well, that's a good question, because I'll tell you, in 2010, they did lose 3 games. In 2010, Alabama did lose 3 games. And then what happened?
They went on a run.
They won the national title the following season. I don't remember 2010, but Alabama lost 3 games in 2010. National title next year. You know what happened in 2019? Remember 2019 when LSU beat Alabama?
That's right.
And Alabama played in the lowly Citrus Bowl.
That's right.
Do you know what happened in 2020? One of the best Alabama teams of all time won the national title. Yeah, it's possible if he gets knocked back, he got knocked back last year. They lost to Texas A&M. They lost to Georgia in the national title game. I bet I wouldn't be surprised if they come back strong. I mean, he has the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, okay, best offensive player in the country maybe, and he has the best defensive player in the country, Will Anderson Jr.
No, he's a stud.
Best defensive player in the country. So Saban has the best offensive player, at least if you go by the Heisman Trophy, and the best defensive player. And you know what else he does? He brought back both coordinators. They're loaded up. They have some questions. 2 new tackles on offense.
Oh, they'll be fine. Yeah,
2
there's
new
questions
tackles.
there, but it's Alabama tackles.
3 new starting wide receivers.
Again, it's like Ohio State, same thing. They reload.
Really strong running backs, though. The defense has more experience, which should mean fewer breakdowns. The defense, I imagine, will be stifling.
Do you really think there's any concerns for the receiver core with three new
Not
receivers?
really.
And it's the same thing as Ohio State.
When they lost those 2 guys, though, last year, at the end of last year, it was a pretty big dip, Jake.
Sure.
It was. You lost Jamison Williams And there's, I can't say the other ones off the top of my head, the other name off the top of my head, but it was a pretty big drop off, actually. It was.
I think they had time to reload, though, get guys going.
Well, we'll see.
I mean,
I'm picking them. I think they'll be in the college football playoff.
like we look at Ohio State, they just lost 2 first-round receivers in Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson, and we're not worried about their receiving core. They got Jackson Smith-Njigba, they got Marvin Harrison Jr., they got other guys in that roster. They'll be fine. Alabama's the same thing. They lost Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith in the same season. They both were the top 15 picks in the draft. And again, those guys got hurt the next year, so it hurt them that you mentioned there, but they were still fine if those guys were healthy.
Yeah. Anyway, Saban, the thing that you have to ponder when you ask that question, how much longer does he go? Does he go till he's 80? If they keep winning, I think the chances are greater. But man, I mean, if they lose, if they have a 3-loss season or a 4-loss season, then he's going to get pretty grouchy.
Oh, sure.
And there's going to be questions, and it's going to be annoying. And he might be more apt to say, the hell with it. I have 7 national title rings.
I don't need this.
Right. 7 national title rings. He might be. What if it starts to go a little bad? Well, in his mind, will he say, I want to go out on top. I don't want to go out with Alabama scuffling.
I just think that's still hard to even imagine that happening with the assistant coaches he drags in there. I mean,
Drags in there.
These guys, they're all very established.
I know
coaches. Like you don't have to Google search them. You know what they are. You know that they're former head coaches and former top coordinators at other places. They're all well known. They're not going to let it fall to the ground.
No. It's a machine. It's a machine.
It is a machine.
It's a machine. But you know what? Everybody's gunning for you, and you're in a cutthroat league down there. Everybody's gunning for you. Jake, can you imagine being on top of the SEC and what that means in terms of jealousy and people trying anything to tear you off that crown? I mean, you're fighting off slings and arrows all the time. That's got to be somewhat tiresome. Now, some of the machine sort of runs itself. There's players that just want to be at Alabama. The transfer portal actually helps Alabama because, well, they have 5 transfers that are high impact. I mean, the articles I was reading last night, they could have 5 high impact transfers this year. They just plug now.
Mm-hmm.
If Alabama has a hole, it's not like we just got to manage it. No, you know how Alabama manages it now? They go into the transfer portal and get guys, and boom, plug them. Free year. We talked about this the other day.
Yep.
It's the opposite of the NFL. It's the very opposite of the NFL, where the best teams draft last. In college football, the best teams still draft first. They get the pick out of the transfer portal, generally speaking. I mean, come on. If you're a great player and you're in the transfer portal and Alabama wants you and Oregon wants you, where are you more apt to go?
Bama.
Yeah.
Bama's
you want
the
to win a
king.
national
Bama's the
title?
king.
You want to win a national title?
Nick Saban's career record as a head coach in college is 269, 67, and 1. I mean, here the question I would have is this: in terms of the longevity of his future here, he was 70 years old. Could he get to 80? What else does he have to prove to himself? You know,
well, there's that.
He's got 7 titles. He got 10 SEC titles. Not all at Bama. Some of those LSU, of course, before he went to Alabama. What does he have to prove? If
well,
you're Nick Saban,
no, hold on, Jake.
What does he have? What does he
so
want?
What are you suggesting? He should retire tomorrow?
I'm saying that he could retire tomorrow and still be the greatest coach of all time.
I don't think it's. I think great ones think they have something to prove every day. That it's not. Yeah, he's. I believe he probably feels he has a lot to prove. That this year he wants to prove that Alabama's still the best. They got beat last year. He has a lot to prove in his mind, I imagine. Texas A&M beat him last year. And then Texas A&M hauled in the greatest recruiting class in college football history, according to 24/7 Sports. Texas A&M hauled in the greatest recruiting class in college football history, according to 24/7 Sports, not Alabama. How much you think that grates on? How much you think that drives him?
Rewind quickly to 2 years ago, before NIL was a thing, before you had Texas, Oklahoma going to the SEC. I mean, you already had some realignment with Nebraska, obviously the Big Ten for several years. But if this was then, and Nick Saban's 70 then, and you don't have NIL, you don't have all this, super conference stuff, is he more inclined to stay 10 more years, or is he more inclined to get out earlier?
That's a good question. I don't know how it's all going to shake out. If it just stays relatively static for the next few years, I think he'd be more apt to stay. I don't know I don't know how big of a factor that is. I think you can overthink this. I believe that people who are as successful as Saban think they have something to prove daily. I don't think that's an issue. I think the losing would be an issue. I think that's when you'd start to wonder about how long he's going to go, because of a couple things. The questions get annoying. I mean, then he's a target all the time, right?
Yeah, well,
and then people are going to say he's losing it.
Right, exactly.
And you think they're negative recruiting now, lose 3 games.
That's why
lose
it's
3
incredible.
games.
This is a guy that's won 7 national titles, and people are still going to be doubting him because, you're getting too old for it.
Right.
How much does he ever want it? Greg in Myrtle Beach, our friend, has chimed in the text line. He says, Saban has doubled down and is pushing harder. He lost twice to his ex-assistants last year for the first time ever.
Yeah, he won 24 straight games against ex-assistants before losing 2 last year. Greg's right. Keep going.
Jimbo and Kirby.
Yeah, keep going.
Let's see. Claytonia John says, who cares about Alabama? Hey, this is the greatest coach probably of all time, Nick Saban.
This is the program.
He was addressing this yesterday at SEC Media Days regarding, is retirement in your future? As of his comments indicate, no, it's really not. He loves he said he loves what he does.
If you're a college football fan, you care about what Nick Saban says. That's the way I look at it. You have to.
He's the king of college football.
Right.
That's the king.
Right. We're in a college football market. Of course we care what Nick Saban says. Do I care what Dabo says? No, I don't. I don't care what Mario Cristobal has to say, really. But I do care about and I'm not picking on anybody. I'm just picking 2 examples. Do I care what Ryan Day has to say? Yeah, I do. Because that is the standard bearing program in the Big Ten. Do I care what Nick Saban has to say? Yeah, I do. Because that's the standard bearing program in the country. All right. I know Kirby won it last year. Georgia was great. Generationally good defense. But this is the king. And yeah, I do care what he thinks about everything, because he's done it better than anybody's ever done it in the history of college football. There's nobody that will dispute that. Who disputes that Nick Saban's the all-time best college football coach? Who disputes that?
Not me.
Nobody. It's almost it's not even an opinion at this point.
It's a fact, right? It's a fact. He's got
7 rings.
7.
And they got a great chance to get 8. They're going to be right there again. That schedule's a bear, though.
Yeah, it is, and I think they're ready for it.
I hope they club Texas. I hope they club Texas.
They have their Heisman Trophy quarterback back.
I hope they beat Texas by 40. I hope they beat Texas by 40. Send a message to Texas. Really? You sure you're ready for this? You ready?
You want a piece of this? You want to come to our conference?
And you know what? As much as I like Jimbo, I hope Alabama clubs A&M. As much as I like Jimbo, I thought Jimbo was really disrespectful to Saban, saying things like his mom should have slapped him more.
Can you imagine saying that to Nick Saban?
Well,
the greatest coach of all time.
Now A&M's got to go to Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, you beat us last year. Now get ready for your beatdown.
That's what I hope. I hope Alabama smokes Texas and clubs A&M. That's what I like.
Would you be surprised if either of those things happen? I expect
no. They should hammer Texas. But it's in Austin, where you attended games and really loved it.
I did. I threw a horns down.
What are you reading?
I'm just trying to get ready for my Irish segment here. So
Oh.
I'm trying to do. I'm just preparing here.
Yes.
Yes. That's what I'm doing.
Because
we
are going.
The countdown to Ireland is on right now as we are going to Ireland, Dublin. Look at this. I'm working in real time right now. Right now, the countdown as of this very moment is 38 days and 3 hours, 4 hours from kickoff in
38
Dublin.
days.
38 days.
NFL's 50 days away from the regular
50
season.
days from the opener there.
We're 38 days from Nebraska's opener.
Yes, and less than that before we go out there. So look forward to that. Again, our countdown is sponsored by McKinney's Irish Pub at 8th and P in the Haymarket. I was trying to find some Irish cuisine you might expect to eat out there. Because
I need help with this.
You do. You can't just go to McDonald's. I mean, I think there is
not going-
McDonald's,
I'm
but
not going
I
to
don't.
McDonald's.
I heard it tastes different. Here's what you can possibly get out there. You can get bacon and cabbage. Does that sound good to you?
Not bad.
You want some coddle?
I don't know what coddle is.
Well, I'm glad you asked. The main ingredients are pork sausage, back bacon, and potato.
That sounds great.
Okay. You can get some skirts and kidneys is a kind of pork stew in Ireland.
I'll avoid that.
And white pudding is oatmeal or barley, pork meat or liver. That sounds terrible.
They got burritos.
I don't think they have burritos in Ireland.
I got a chicken burrito.
I don't think you probably.
I just
get
want a
that.
chicken burrito.
Yeah. They do have porridge though. I would eat porridge. You know, I eat that in the morning anyways. My oatmeal. It looks like porridge anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So there you
Yeah,
go.
the food. Hey, now let's just be honest about something. We're both going to be tested by the food element here. We're going to be out of our comfort zone. You know, I'll be out of my comfort zone because what do I eat 90% of the time?
Burritos.
Right. Mexican.
Yep. Apparently they eat a lot of seaweed up there too.
Seaweed is probably good for you. That sounds really
terrible.
good for
It
you.
doesn't sound very tasty.
Doesn't it sound good for you
Just
though?
Salt the heck out of that thing.
Yeah, that
Peppers.
sounds great for you. That's probably not bad. There's got to be good seafood there,
Yeah,
right?
seafood is big. Yeah, seafood is big. Absolutely.
Okay, well then that's where I'm going.
Yep.
That's hey.
These puddings just sound terrible.
Now listen, I'm going to be eating mostly seafood. White
I will too. I told you about white pudding. It's oatmeal or barley, pork, meat, or liver. How about black pudding? Ready for this one in Ireland? A traditional dish made from pig's blood, barley, and seasoning. Why?
That's okay.
You want to eat some blood?
I don't know. I mean, that doesn't shake me too much. If
I
it's
will be very
handled
honest,
correctly.
that food does not sound very good.
Oh, come
but
on.
we're going to survive.
I thought half of it sounded good.
I'm going to eat to survive, not to thrive in Ireland, I think.
We'll make it work.
But-
And I'll bet the food's good. I've never heard anybody really complain about it. Like nobody has said you're going to Dublin. I don't know what you're going to eat. I've never heard anything like that.
Well, we'll see for ourselves. Have you asked anybody about the food in Dublin before? Maybe they avoided it intentionally when they talked.
A lot of people know you're going. We're going, and nobody's ever said, get ready. It's going to be hard to
Pack
eat."
some snacks.
Nobody's ever said that.
Bring some bars with
So I'm
you.
not too worried about it.
Vanderbilt's head coach is
Oh,
saying
geez.
ridiculous things. We'll tell you what he said
Oh,
next
God.
on Early Break on the Ticket.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Now through July 20th, join Planet Fitness for $1 down, $10 a month, and feel spectacular in the judgment-free zone with the most energy you've had since
kindergarten when we had daily naps.
Exactly. And in our clean and spacious clubs with tons of equipment, you'll feel confident. Like after
I've carried in all the groceries in one trip.
more like, wait, that's exactly what it feels like. Join at planetfitness.com or in club. $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime. Hurry. Deal ends July 20th. See club for details.
Yo, it's the captain, Rashawn Jackson. Join me this Wednesday at Wingstop at 28th and Pine Lake Road from 11 to 2 for your Husker sports talk and most importantly, wings. That's Wednesday at Wingstop at 28th and Pine Lake, the official sponsor of the Captain. Order wings ahead at wingstop.com. See you there.
It's time to start thinking about what's next. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Southeast Community College wants to be part of your conversation. SCC Discovery Days give you an immersive look at our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford. Come take a tour, meet our instructors and students, ask questions, and see all the new things SCC has been doing and building in the last few years. See more and register online at southeast.edu/visit SCC. Your path to possible.
Registration is now open for all fall sports leagues through Lincoln Parks and Rec. Adult volleyball, kickball, softball, and youth NFL flag football. Competitive and recreational leagues are available, so whether you're an athlete, a former athlete, or a wannabe athlete, there's a league for you. Plus, check out their paid opportunities for officials and referees. Contact Lincoln Parks and Rec to learn more or head to teamsideline.com/LincolnNE before July 24th to register your team. That's teamsideline.com/LincolnNE.
Shopping for insurance can be a tedious and frustrating task, but the agents at Brokers Insurance Agency will do the work for you. They have partnered with over 20 of the best insurance carriers in the nation, which allows them to do the shopping all for you. Whether you're looking for business insurance or employee benefits for your company, or you're looking to save money on your home and auto insurance, Brokers Insurance Agency has the agents and solutions to help meet your goals. Call 402-420-5353 or email staff at brokersinsurancene.com.
In your busy life, very little is free, but your next home might be a bit less than you think with a free appraisal from Security First Bank. Free home appraisals from Security First Bank. We're the bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. Offer valid through December 31st, 2022 on secondary market new home purchase loans only. One free appraisal per transaction. Appraisals paid for by lender at closing. Subject to lender qualifications. See lender for details. NMLS number 505011.
There are a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of Woods Brothers Realty is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben Bleicher's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. That's 419-6309. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of Woods Brothers Realty. No pressure, just professionalism.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Call Nebraska Auto Detail today at 402-601-5086.
I grew up hearing that women are bad with money, but like many of you, I spent years paying bills, managing checking accounts, and taking care of my family. So turns out women are pretty good with money after all. And now I'm taking control of my financial future by saving for retirement. It's never too late to start, and there's a great website to help you. Check out WeSaySaveIt.org and jumpstart your retirement savings on your budget and your timeline. That's WeSaySaveIt.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
We're on the air.
Back
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
to more of Early Break with Sip and Jay, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We had some response at the end of the segment regarding our Irish countdown. Again, we're just 38 days away exactly from Nebraska Northwestern in Dublin. OG Les Lancaster. I said that one of the foods out there was white pudding. He says white pudding was Sip's nickname in high school.
No, it wasn't.
Can you confirm that?
No. That's pretty funny. White pudding's a really good nickname, actually.
CJ, who I described blood pudding. I told you I was like pigs. No, sorry, black. He said black pudding.
Yeah, black pudding.
Black pudding was this. It is a traditional dish made from pig's blood, barley, and seasoning, which just sounds horrible.
No, it doesn't.
CJ says it isn't too bad.
Yeah, that doesn't sound horrible to me.
Well, coddle sounds good though. pork sausage, back bacon, and potato. That
sounds really good. Yeah,
it does.
Yeah, it's coddle. Remember that coddle.
Yeah, I remember coddle.
Coddle.
2 D's.
Coddle.
Yes, Gus.
Coddle.
My last name is Coddle.
Thanks, Gus.
Wait a second.
Yes, it's not spelled the same way. His is Kathol. This is Coddle. Coddle.
Yeah, how did I not know his last name? Gus. Coddle.
Yes.
Okay.
By the way, before we move on to Clark Lee's ridiculous things he said for Vanderbilt yesterday, SEC Media Days.
That's your opinion. Go ahead.
Claytonia John. I'm sorry, not Claytonia. Troy from Bassett. We'll get a call here in a second too. Troy from Bassett regarding Alabama. Quickly, going back to Nick Saban.
Okay.
He says Westgate Sportsbook says Alabama has enough talent on the roster. They could field 2 teams and make the playoffs with both teams.
That's so awesome. That is incredible. That's
Their
incredible.
JV team could beat
That's
all of us,
incredible. Yeah, Nick Saban, no hurry to retire.
No,
under
why
those
would he be?
under those circumstances, no hurry to retire. But I'm telling you, the conversation would change very rapidly if they lose 3 games this year. Because there would be people in his fan base that say, in the Alabama fan base, that say it's time. If they lose 3, there'll be people saying it's time.
Okay, real quick. You mentioned in 2010 they lost 3 games. I did not research this, but my brain tells me
2010.
that was the year they lost to Trevor Knight in Oklahoma in
Okay.
the bowl game, I believe. Right?
Maybe.
That sound right?
I don't know.
I believe that's right.
Okay.
If not, then apologize.
2010, they lost 3. In 2011, they
Well,
they
Landry
came back to
Jones
win
was
it
12.
all.
That's probably not right. Landry Jones was 2010.
Yeah, don't say things that aren't
okay,
right.
they lost to Trevor Knight in Oklahoma in a bowl game, though. That I know for sure.
The one thing that I want to remind you of is this show. We have had some profound embarrassment in the last 10 days.
And we tried to turn the leaf, turn
Yeah,
a leaf
but
here.
th-
New leaf.
there's profound embarrassment by you last week, or was it last week when Paul Klempa was on?
Yeah.
And he talked about taking his boat out and fishing.
I just asked him to go on the boat.
No, you asked this. You said, "Are you a good fisher?" Now,
well, come on.
Are you a good fisher? That was your question.
I quickly changed it to fisherman.
That was your on-air question.
Yeah, but I fixed it quickly though.
Now, shift it over here.
Yeah.
Yesterday was a bad day. we've had some profound embarrassment on this show.
What was your embarrassment yesterday?
I was referring to the U2
That's
lead
right.
singer as Bono,
Bono.
which I always have. I always
I get,
have.
I get why, but that's also a name you hear a lot.
Yeah, it's spelled Bono. Bono.
We don't try to hide our flaws here.
But those are flaws that would lead people to turn to another station.
Or laugh at us. One of the two. Mike has a phone call.
All right, Mike.
He wants to talk about Ireland real quick. Mike, you're on early break. Go ahead.
Hey guys, this is probably bad radio, but if you have YouTube on your TV, you guys need to research Ireland a little bit. There's all kinds of travel videos. The food is actually, they said, excellent. Used to be bland. Said there's a renaissance now. Last 10 years in Ireland, and the food is really good, and just a lot of things that'll make your trip better. Like it rains not all the time, but enough that you better be prepared.
Okay.
And in the stadium, I assume you guys are in the press box. You can't use umbrellas in the stadium.
Oh, you
So you need to dress accordingly for rain. Just some hints that you guys should maybe look into a little bit, and all the listeners that are going to Ireland.
Okay.
Thanks, Mike. I'll bring my poncho with me then.
Okay, you bring your poncho. Mike says they're having a bit of a food renaissance the last 10 years. That's good.
Yeah.
YouTube videos.
Yeah, I could
to
watch that.
prepare yourself.
DJ says, I was in Ireland for 10 days. It's not a third world country, boys. The food was very good. You'll survive.
Mogadishu. I'm looking forward to it.
Jesse, before we move on, says, Jake from the text, line. Jesse says, Jake has an embarrassing moment, maybe once a week. Sip contains us embarrassing himself daily.
I don't know.
Thanks, Jesse.
That means he's tuning in daily.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jesse.
An embarrassing moment daily.
Speaking of embarrassing moments, Clark Lee, the head coach of Vanderbilt, yesterday. I have a little snippet of audio. It's about 3 seconds long, 4 seconds long. This is Clark Lee, the head coach of the lowly, pathetic, terrible Vanderbilt Commodores.
The Vanderbilt
SEC.
Commodores that have lost 21 straight SEC games, Jake. They haven't won an SEC game, the Commodores, since October of 2019. October of 2019.
Here's a quick snippet he had from yesterday at the podium at SEC Media Day, speaking about his Vanderbilt Commodores.
We know that in time, Vanderbilt football will be the best program in the country.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
He said also this.
Look at Gus. Look at Gus is laughing.
Gus, he said this. Now this, I'm surprised you're disparaging him because this is a man speaking to your heart. Clark Lee.
Please tell me what he said beyond that.
Clark Lee said this, quote, "We are on a quest to be the best developmental program in the country.
Oh, hello.
We want to set a course for our men to realize successful careers in the NFL." This harkens you back to Steve Peterson. They are going the Steve Peterson route. We will make you an NFL player. It's not a bad route to go. They've recruited very well. Lee noted this. Clark Lee. By the way, it's L-E-A.
L-E-A, yep.
Clark Lee noted that Vanderbilt's recruiting class includes 30 members in a class widely considered to be the best in program history. And he says...
Better than James Franklin's recruiting down there?
That's what he said. I mean, that's what he said.
Interesting.
He says it's closed the gap between us and our competition.
I don't think so.
They've lost 21 straight SEC games. Now, I would challenge you on this. I knew I read the rundown and I immediately thought, okay, Jake's being snarky. What's wrong with the Vanderbilt coach taking this tact? If you're going to coach,
it's an eye roll is what it is.
But if you're going to coach, do you want Clark Lee to go up there and say, "Hey, same old at Vandy"?
I don't need him saying stuff like this. How about we expect to be, heavily improved this year as we keep rising up.
Okay.
You don't need to say we're going to be the best program in the country.
That's what you want to shoot for, though. Right?
Sure.
So why not verbalize?
Well, so does Kansas. And Kansas was there in 07. They were second, to be fair.
Why not verbalize it?
Because you're just asking yourself to get mocked here.
You're asking to get mocked.
Yep, pretty much. That's what you are. If you're Clark Lee, you said that knowing you're going to get mocked for it. Maybe he doesn't care.
Why would he care?
I just think that
Vandy,
it's fine to say we expect to be majorly improved this year as we continue to rise up in the SEC.
What is wrong with we are on a quest to be the best developmental program in the country?
That's fine. That's not the best program, though.
It's interesting.
It's a little ridiculous.
He had to follow Saban to the podium. So you know what happens when that happens? So Nick Saban goes to the podium. You know what happens after that? You've been at these things.
I have.
Media days. Reporters follow Saban out the door. Half the room is, I don't know. There might be half the number of reporters that were on hand for Saban. And a lot of those reporters are busy transcribing what Saban said. Yep. And by the way, then there's this Vanderbilt coach saying something up there. So if you're a Vanderbilt head coach, why wouldn't maybe you would take the tack of, you know what? These guys are going to follow Saban out the door, or they're going to be concentrating on what Saban said. I'm going to give him something.
Okay, fair.
I'm going to give him something.
Yeah, I guess he has nothing to lose there besides mockery. But
mockery. Why would he care?
Maybe he
about
doesn't
that?
care, and kudos to him for that. I had a major.
You don't care about mockery?
No, I don't. I had a major eye roll yesterday when I heard that.
Well, I think a lot of people did. You don't think Clark Lee anticipated your eye roll?
Yeah, probably did.
Probably did.
Well, I did it though, big time.
We're talking about Vanderbilt right now. We're talking about Vandy, but we're talking about him.
Laughing.
You know the saying. No publicity is bad publicity.
I don't know.
Is that what it is?
I don't agree. That is the saying. I don't agree with that though. I don't agree with that.
Is that the saying?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Any
publicity is good publicity.
We'll get it figured out before we're done with
Was that an embarrassment?
Hey, no, by the way, KFC apparently has 12 locations in Dublin. You'll be all right. You can have,
really?
You can have chicken every day if you want.
Really?
Let's play the game show. Give us a call right now at 464-5685. Your chance to win a business box of bagels to Bagels and Joe. You are 0-2 on the week. Getting closer to 500.
Bad.
Getting closer.
We got whooped yesterday.
Today is a wild card Wednesday. And we're going back to a name here. Famous Pauls. Do you know your famous Pauls in the world? P-A-U-L, Paul. If you think you know your Pauls, 464-5685. Shut up, Sip.
How else would you start?
Starts right now.
We've all been there. You're listening to the radio, and then that rage starts to grow inside of you. It starts to consume you. It gets to a point where you just want to yell, "Shut up, Sipple!" No, sorry. I'm sorry. Well, here's your chance. It's time to shut up, Sipple. Call now to play. 464-5685. Shut up, Sipple. Brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
I have seen people trying to call in. I'm not sure the lines are messed up, but give us a call, 402-464-5685. A line open for you. Gus will take your call as we try to get famous Paul's trivia today.
P-A-U-L.
P-A-U-L.
As opposed to what?
P-A-L-L. P-A-W-L. P-A-L-L.
Paul. P-A-L-L. You want a definition for P-A-L-L?
Yeah.
A dark cloud or covering of smoke, dust, or similar matter.
Word of the day.
A pall of black smoke hung over the quarry.
I missed word of the day. We got to do that again. That was a great segment. All right, Gus is getting our caller lined up here.
Oh, they're here.
How
They
do, how
come.
do you feel about famous Paul?
Pretty good. I know a few.
Well, don't say them until
I'm
the
not going
questions
to.
are asked.
Yeah.
Corey's on the
This is
line.
not our
Corey,
Corey,
how
is
do you
it?
feel about famous Pauls today?
I didn't think I'd make it through. I was streaming, and seemed like nobody was calling. So,
No, they're
Paul
jacked
Revere,
now.
Paul Walker.
Well, don't say all the names, Corey. You don't say all the names. Come on. It's part of the trivia.
Come on, Corey.
Jeez.
Hey, Corey, it's nice to hear from you. It's been a while.
The last time I was thinking about this, the last time I called for Shut Up Sipple was the Friday before Northwestern last year.
Jeez,
Wow.
that's been a
That's been
spell.
a long time.
Yeah, that's been a
Yeah,
spell.
took some time off.
All
Yeah,
right.
all right. Well,
glad
let's
you're
do this.
You're refreshed and ready to go.
Yeah, let's lock horns. And I'd say I know some Pauls, so be ready, Corey.
All right.
All right.
All right, Corey. Here's your first question. What famous Paul yelled the British are coming on his midnight ride?
Oh, God.
Let's see if I can pull that name. Yeah, it's Paul Revere.
Yes, good job.
Seems annoyed at that one. It's fine.
God, Shake. I'm glad
Yeah,
you
the
gave that one to
question's correct.
Corey. Yeah.
All right, Sip, for the tie, your first question. What famous Paul is an actor from the Kansas City area who starred in Ant-Man and played Brian Fantana in Anchorman?
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd is correct. Corey, are you surprised you got that one right?
I'm actually pretty surprised. I mean, I know Sip's a huge Marvel Cinematic
Big,
Universe guy,
Massive fan.
and he loves like comedies, modern comedies especially. So
Yeah, the biggest
but
fan
I'm
of
still
both.
surprised.
Yes. All right, Corey, last question for the lead. What famous Paul sang "You Can Call Me Al"?
Oh, yeah. Come on.
Paul Simon.
Good job, Corey. Yes, I would have known
He
that.
seemed
Jake.
bored with that answer. Okay, Sip, this is for the tie to force the tiebreaker.
Don't
Last
give me another
question.
actor. Don't give me
What
another
famous Paul was an actor who starred in Cool Hand Luke and The Hustler?
actor. Oh, it's
among
a great
others?
Paul Newman. That's the great Paul Newman.
I think this go. It's been a while since we had a tiebreaker. I'm going to go this is to you, and Corey will go over under your answer. Speaking of Paul Newman, Sip, how old was Paul Newman when he passed away in 2008? Just thinking, back in the cranium.
81.
Okay, Corey, over, under, 81 years old when Paul Newman passed away in 2008 for the win.
That's a great number. That's right in the neighborhood where I was. Man, I'm gonna say over.
Heartbreaking.
It was a great guess because the answer was 83. 83
Heartbreaking.
years old. A well-played game by both guys, but Corey is the champ. Congrats, Corey. We'll get you bagels. Thanks for calling, and call in down the road.
Hey, appreciate it. Sip, just a little tidbit. KFC is the #1 fast food chain in the world.
Is it really?
What?
It's not that big in America anymore. It's kind of faded, but it's #1 in the world. You guys are really ramping up your roles for ugly Americans going to Dublin. If you're worried about Dublin food, I mean, come on. You're not going to like the Amazon. We're fine.
Thanks, Corey. Appreciate
Yeah,
the
we
kind
are.
word, yes.
We are sounding like ugly Americans as we just
Going to a big city, you'll be fine. I heard there's a Papa John's up there. 12 KFC.
You see, you're not going to the Amazon.
Which is true. We are not.
God, I took an L there. That's
Yeah,
hard.
you're 0-3. But you know
That
what?
was hard.
Well, where the first 2 days were bad, that was a good performance.
Oh, that hurts.
You got your questions right, and you had a great guess. The tiebreaker. It's just
I'm not going to lie. That hurt. I wanted to beat Corey. I wanted that scalp.
to wait again when he calls in.
Next time. Have I beaten Corey?
Oh,
ever?
yeah, you beat Corey.
Have I?
Oh, yeah, a couple times. Yeah, he is not perfect against you. He's won more than lost against you. By
Way
far.
more.
But I think
Way
you beat him twice or 3 times. Maybe.
Really?
He'll confirm that during the break.
Oh, that hurts.
The spillover is next on Early Break on the Ticket.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Call Nebraska Auto Detail today at 402-601-5086.
There are a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of Woods Brothers Realty is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben Bleicher's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. That's 419-6309. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of Woods Brothers Realty. No pressure, just professionalism.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Sunny skies, warm temperatures lingering on as we'll top out near 92. Winds should be light out of the north at around 10. Clear tonight, a low dropping down to around 66. The heat builds in further, though, as we get into our Thursday. Afternoon high of 97. Could be near 100 by Friday. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Empire Fence and Netting in Waverly is now hiring for several positions. They're looking for a fence installer for both commercial and residential, for local projects, and ones that require travel. They also have openings for operators, dirt work, welding positions, and applicants with CDLs are very desirable. If you're looking for a locally operated business that provides excellent work for customers and great benefits and care for its employees, email info@empire-fence.com or give them a call at 402-682-7658. Empire Fence and Netting.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Problem gambling is not just a financial issue. It's an emotional problem with financial consequences. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300. Did you know that the U.S. has added over 1,100 new breweries in the last 18 months? Learn more by shopping at Myers Cork and Bottle, 13th and South, and by tuning into Thirsty Thursdays with Kevin Myers, because sports are better with a drink in your hand and a friend at your side.
Hey, Mom. Yeah, I got in a crash. I'm okay. I was wearing my seatbelt.
People count on you to buckle up.
Click it or a ticket. Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Yo, it's the captain, Rashawn Jackson. Join me this Wednesday at Wingstop at 28th and Pine Lake Road from 11 to 2 for your Husker sports talk and, most importantly, wings. That's Wednesday at Wingstop at 28th and Pine Lake, the official sponsor of the captain. Order wings ahead at wingstop.com. See you there.
In your busy life, very little is free, but your next home might be a bit less than you think with a free appraisal from Security First Bank. Free home appraisals from Security First Bank. We're the bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. Offer valid through December 31st, 2022 on secondary market new home purchase loans only. One free appraisal per transaction. Appraisals paid for by lender at closing. Subject to lender qualifications. See lender for details. NMLS number 505011.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
We're on the air.
Back
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
to more of Early Break with Sip and Jake. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is time for spillover.
You're not getting the
DP
same
and
fast
J.
that you're eating.
Yeah.
I'm not getting. Look, go ahead.
Yeah, we got the DP and J with us. We were talking during the break about our vices in life. I like to golf. DP does
It's
not
not a
golf.
vice.
It's something I like to do.
Is golf a vice?
Oh, for people,
I got
it's a vice.
vices.
For people
Golf
who
is
go
not
hard,
a vice.
For people who go hard golfing, yeah, it is a time consumption.
But it's not a vice.
I don't think it's a vice.
Fine,
It's
it's
just
a hobby.
It's a
It's a hobby.
Yeah.
Well, but there are people that's the core of their living now. Is like, okay, I got to play three. I got to play three. I got to play 3 rounds a week.
But what if it's get to? Maybe it's not. I have to. I get to play 3 times a week.
Listen, since it costs,
It does cost,
and
it's
you,
true.
yeah,
It does cost.
those 15 hours a week that you just want to give away as freely as that. Yeah, that's a vice, my
I'm
friend.
not giving it away.
That is a
That's
vice, my
enjoyment.
friend.
That's I gain those 15 hours. That's enjoyment to me.
Sports is my
I think
vice.
doing stuff that you don't want to do is giving away hours.
But we talked about how can anybody really enjoy ice fishing, because it'll take a week off. You freeze your tail
Well, I
off.
don't think you got to take a week off.
Yeah,
Oh, some
weekends.
people do. They go up to
Yeah.
Well, I
Colorado
know, but
or
you
to
don't have to.
Canada.
You
But
take a day off.
the places, the ice fishing houses that they have, or no, granted, it's an investment now. I mean, it's not like, or I guess you could rent them. You could do like the ice. They're nice now. It's not like a shack. I mean, it's fully like a little, however big condo that you want. But
Really?
oh yeah, and it's all, you're not doing a lot of fishing because like over a lot when you ice fish, it's like opposite. So they'll be biting in the middle of the night. So you have your pole in there. It's all digital. And then essentially when it hits, it's like a smoke alarm goes off. You get up and
Did you
reel
do
the
so?
fish.
You did this when you were in the pros?
No. Oh, heck no. I
They got
did
an
an
ice fish in
appearance.
Buffalo, I bet.
I did it. Yeah, they had plenty of them. I did an appearance at the Super Bowl up in Minnesota.
Okay.
So they, got us all out there, and we went, and they were probably trying to sell houses to some of the people that, obviously were interested, or the whatever fish house or whatever you call
The
them.
fish houses.
Yeah, or whatever you call them, wherever they stay. So we were going around.
This isn't an igloo. This isn't a little ice house.
Yeah, they're nice. I
They're
mean,
nice.
you're talking
a polar tent.
You're talking like
Yeah, are we talking about a
queen.
tent
Bed,
here?
they got queen.
Sounds
The big ones
awesome.
have a queen bed,
That's
full
not ice fishing.
cable, all that stuff, and then they have like 2 or 3 holes in there that you got poles in,
That's amazing. Jake.
heated and everything like
That's
that.
amazing.
So you're just waiting.
That's amazing.
Just
That's
sit
not-
there
that's
in
not-
the cold
that's
and
not
you wait.
hunting, you just wait.
And we went around and met them all and signed autographs and all that.
And
stuff.
So you
Like-
can buy one and
and
Oh, yeah.
practically
reels them
live
in.
in.
Yeah.
It reels in
Yeah.
the fish for you.
You could, I mean, there's not a shower in there. I mean, you go in the lodge and shower, but Yeah, I mean, you could go up there for a weekend. I talked to a guy that it was something that him and his son do once or twice a fall or winter.
That sounds
How
kind
warm
of.
do you get a dress for that? Though? You wear like 6 layers out there?
No, you could go. He was in there in shorts. He was in his. I mean, literally, it's
That's fascinating.
it's just like being in here. So now, granted, once you get out of your car and drive out there, but they have, they either probably drive their snowmobile out there and hang up their snowsuit or pants sitting up there, and he was in shorts and a t-shirt
Up there. Where are we talking?
Up Minneapolis.
North of Minneapolis.
Yeah, or just Minneapolis area.
I see people on Holmes Lake sometimes ice fishing. I'm like, this is just weird. In Lincoln,
Be
out
careful,
there,
Jake. That's just something people
Listen,
do.
It's
That's not
to
this
each
is
their
not-
own.
This
It's
is probably
strange.
not the ice fishing.
Well,
place
I've
here.
seen it at Holmes Lake. That's why I think it's weird.
They're probably might be at the bottom of Holmes Lake. The ice can't be thick enough at any point in time in Lincoln to do it, right?
Listen, Jay. I've seen people ice fishing in Holmes Lake, and
Right
I
on
did-
the edge,
I did a
too.
double take
They-
every time.
They're in like 8 inches of water. They know, well, we fall through, we're good.
There he goes.
Whoops.
He fell in.
I remember driving to basketball games, or my dad driving me in basketball games, that we would be going from, our house down, and sometimes you got to, pass like, little lakes or whatever on the way. People would have their cars out there. I mean, that's how thick the ice was.
Having a car.
Just they would drive out there and they'd be out
Yeah.
there doing it. But back then it was just like, now you're talking about the shacks, and they probably had the little radios and listening to Vikings game. That sounds like horrible. That's horrible.
But those
When you
are
got cable
those are
in
the
there
ice
now?
those are the ice people. Like those are the ice fishing people. Was that
Not now though.
Like
Yeah.
that's in my
Yeah.
head. Those are the people. Those are the old folks that I remember talking about. That they'd have their little transistor radio and the full radio earmuffs, and they'd
Right.
go out, and this was their heaven. They could fish and listen to football. And I just it is not a thing that ever became interesting enough for
No.
me.
I agree.
To do.
It
But
was-
I'm the same way. Like I'm not a hunter. I'm not a fisher. I'm not like I'm
Fisherman. Don't say Fisher.
I
Jake
don't fish.
Jake got in that.
That's why I said it. Because
Jake, you got in trouble when you said
I
that?
just heard you guys just
I said
having
Fisher
10 minute.
accidentally.
You know.
I quickly
We've had some
corrected Fisher
embarrassing
in.
Well, why isn't it Hunter Man?
It's an archer.
Right, I like this. You're
I'm-
defending Jake. I wish I
I'm a
appreciate
hunter
you,
man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
it. See,
like, I don't,
what's wrong with Fisher? Why is that so repulsive and wrong?
yeah,
Come on.
It's just wrong.
That's way out of bounds.
It is.
Hunterman sounds
you're a
stupid.
good fisher?
Archerman sounds
He
dumb.
asked Paul
Fisher's-
Klimple if he's a good fisher.
I said fisherman right away.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
I corrected myself.
It took a little bit.
Oh, it didn't take that long.
There was a
actually laughed
pause in
out
the
loud.
room. There
I
was a
actually laughed out loud when he said it because I saw the train wreck coming.
Fisherman.
I could see
Fisher.
Paul looking
Come
at
on.
you like,
He did look at him like
This gotta
that.
be kidding.
No, no,
This
Paul
gotta be-
didn't.
Well,
He handled it
Paul's
well.
a bowler man. So
Yeah, see? I'm a golfer, man.
Yeah,
Does that
yeah,
sound right to
yeah,
you?
it
No,
just-
it shouldn't be fisherman. It should be Fisher. Stand by it.
Okay, I'm interested in what these guys think about. Do you hear what Clark Lee said? Didn't bother me, by the way.
Vanderbilt head coach, football head coach.
he
Gi-
said
give
what
it
he
to him.
said.
Give it to him, Jake.
He
said
said,
what he said.
they expect to be the best program in the nation at some point in the future.
And he said we want to be the best developmental program in the country.
I like that.
That's literally his job.
I like that from him.
That's literally his job.
I mean, the being the best program in the nation was probably a little bit out of bounds, but why would he say anything else? But the second part, I like it.
That's what I thought.
Second part, it tells me more than the first part. The first part is kind of what you have to say. Now, he could have said different. We want to be, he could say the same thing and have the same effect that we want to always be a power player or a team in contention for our side of the SEC.
Yeah, we want to win the SEC.
We want to win the SEC every year. If you do that, you are
you're
one of
the
the
best.
best teams. But what he said, secondly, is more important because that's letting you know, or potentially letting you know, he already has a thought process and a plan on how he's going to build the program and his players. So if that wasn't something that was happening before, now you have somebody at least on the surface, which obviously we know that's completely on the surface, that he has a plan for their program that actually needs something. When you talk about a program needs something to hang their hat on, that's what he's at least figured out. This is what we can't say we're going to be the most talented.
Right.
We can't say we're
Right.
going to get
Probably not.
the highest recruiting classes, but we can develop guys. So we actually have to be excellent recruiters and developers and coaches.
Go back to Utah with Ron McBride.
Whoa.
Early 2000s. McBride had been there 20 some years. They fire McBride for what they figure is just it's old school, and they need to transition to the new era. And they go out and get a young man who came in and said, "Listen, there's no reason why Utah can't compete with the Alabamas and the USCs and the Michigans." And people went, "Well, that's a weird thing for you to say. It's kind of ballsy." But that young man was Urban Meyer. Like, there's no other way for him to walk in but that way. He needs to walk in that way. Urban Meyer walked in and said, "Listen, I'm going to chase out all the bad ghosts. I'm going to get rid of all the bad habits. I'm going to get rid of all the border players who don't want to do the work that's required for this to be a program." And then he put together an undefeated team that also went down to the Sugar Bowl and kicked the pants off of Alabama.
Undefeated.
And it becomes that thing. And years later now, they're in the Rose Bowl face-to-face, toe-to-toe with Ohio State. Look, as a coach, if the coach says anything but what he said, I'm mad. I'm taking my kids away. Like, that's your job. That is absolutely your job. That's exactly what you're supposed to say. Like, I'm looking at you, Alabama. I see you, but I'm also taking notes, because for every as Scott Frost said the other night, we got a list. We got a list of dudes that we owe. Like, we need to get back and we need to get even. Okay, that's what you're supposed to say.
Wouldn't it be amazing if Vandy got really good? Vandy threw 11 out there.
Well, I mean, Cincy got really good.
It'd be good.
Cincinnati got really good.
Yeah, Utah got really good.
Vandy.
Kansas
was
had won
good
11 games
2 years in a row.
Kansas got really good.
Yeah, in 07.
I don't need you to be really good once. I want you to be good or really good multiple times and back to back. That's what's be really good. Throw out a 10-win season, 8, 9,
That's
7.
Man, Gino
10.
did that at Kansas.
That bam, bam, bam. Like, doing it once. This is not dumbing down any magical season. Any Urban when he's at Utah, Urban again at Ohio State,
and at Florida.
Right? I'm just talking about the magical year,
right?
The where you go undefeated and you kind of come out of nowhere. I'm not taking anything away from that,
like Auburn did,
right?
With Chiswick,
right?
And then they went back. They slid back quick.
But
they did
to get credibility for me. I got to see it more than once.
I got you.
You get what I'm saying? Because the stars can align, once. I got to see it more.
What would happen at Vanderbilt if he had the 1 year?
He would have a statue out
and
there.
It wouldn't happen by accident.
No, but I'd like to see it
happen by accident.
It don't happen.
If you do, and if he has the personality to get Vanderbilt to a magical year in Vanderbilt, which, let's be honest, 8 to 10 wins.
Yeah.
Right. And say they come down the last 2 weeks and don't make it into the SEC championship, but then they go to a New Year's Day bowl. It's almost certain, unless it's all seniors, they're going to be pretty good for the next 2 or 3 years. Now for Vandy, it's that 4 year, because essentially to get to that point, I imagine it had to be a class and a half, started from freshmen all the way up to when they're seniors, and then another class to juniors and sophomores. Okay. Did you keep doing the same thing at that point in time, which would have been 10th, 11th, 12th graders that would be coming to Vandy to kind of continue along the process?
I mean, Wake Forest.
Duke's made a conference title game.
Duke's always been pretty good up until last year. Was like
Duke was terrible.
They were bad.
Duke was terrible in football.
Then David Cutcliffe came
was
around.
Terrible in football.
Again, but he came in there. He came in there with what he learned.
Anybody that would hire Jay
Tennessee.
Foreman would walk in the door and say, "Okay, we getting everybody." Like, that's literally, I can guarantee you, the first thing Jay Foreman would walk in and go, "Listen, forget about what it was."
Yeah, that's what it
is.
That's
what it's about to be.
Mickey Joseph does so well,
right?
Because
So
it doesn't matter if he has Nebraska, LSU, wherever he's been before. He believes in what he's doing, and he backs it up with what he does, which is coach, develop, and everything that he says. So he can go and be the head coach at Vanderbilt and say, we're going to go get guys because he has that track record. Now imagine Urban from his upbringing and coming from Bowling Green, doing something at Bowling Green that nobody ever thought that could be done at Bowling Green, gives him superior confidence to go to Utah and do it, because he's not only seen it, he's done it, and he's been a part of it. And so a lot of times you see coaches that really believe it. is because they've been a part of it. That's why people try to get the coaching tree. The coaching tree. Now the problem is like this is what people understand. Like I still think Bill Belichick is going to go down as the greatest NFL coach of all time. But there's still an asterisk because he hasn't done much without Tom Brady.
Oh.
And his coaching tree, when they go off on their own, is flat out horrible.
Yeah, they've done bad.
Now, when you compare it to like a Bill Walsh, right? Okay. And Bill Walsh himself, even before he passed away, really went back and had some personal reflection how horrible he was to players and stuff. You know what I mean? We're talking Joe Montana and Jerry Rice and all of them had a tenuous relationship with him up until they had kind of reconciled. But you look at his coaching tree, what he did was Denny Green, Billick, Mariucci, Andy Reid. I know I'm missing a ton of them, right? But he said, okay, listen, this is what made me successful. Now take whatever I did and go off and then put your stamp on it. So that's where when you think of a Vanderbilt guy, it'd be interesting to see if you dive into it, where he came from and what he took, from there, what he's taken from there.
Yeah, he came under Kelly.
And then now he's putting his stamp on it.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting.
He was a Notre Dame DC, Clark Lee.
We're going to see.
He was a Notre Dame DC. So who's Belichick? Who's Belichick's disciples that have struggled?
Matt Patricia, Josh
Every single one of them.
McDaniels, Charlie Weiss,
Mangini.
Eric Mangini. Yeah, had one good year.
Urban Meyer's tree is strong. It is strong. Charlie Strong, Brockelman, Hall, Kyle Whittingham.
Yeah.
Like there's a run of guys. I love the fact that he said it. Look, what if he fails? He just did what everybody else did, right? But he does allow a change of the status and the stand.
And he's surrounded guys that are like-minded. I know he has an assistant coach in Dan Jackson, who's a local guy that was up at South Dakota State. Correct me if I'm wrong, and done really, really well there. Went to Northern Illinois, done really, really well there as far as developing players. And he always is obviously recruiting Omaha kids. But what Dan Jackson is just like that. He's going to develop guys. You have to have an eye for talent when you're at Vanderbilt, because you're not gonna be top four on a lot of guys.
Starters. Yeah, at least for starters.
Right now you're not on the top 8.
And they've got the academic wall that they have to get over as well, because that's not an easy space to be in. Question for you guys: what's the Tom Osborne coaching tree?
It's not extensive.
Yeah,
in terms of
back then, it really wasn't. No, that's not the way.
Right.
They didn't leave.
That's not the way college football was, though.
Yeah,
right.
Then.
Frank,
and that's it.
Yeah.
But that was Coach Bowl. Tony Samuel was pretty successful. I guess Kevin Steele. He's still coaching, so he's
still around.
And then guys from Nebraska who went on. So especially if you want, like Mentor comes to mind, but
Mentor, Frost, the Bullocks, Bullocks, but they weren't
not head coaches. Not a lot of head coaches.
Clint
in that
Brown.
conversation.
Clint Brown
Turner,
is a successful defensive coordinator.
But there are a lot of assistants that came.
Assistants.
Joe Mowgli. Where is Mowgli? Yeah,
Mowgli was not
the running back coach that was at
Joe
the Colts
Mowgli never
all the
was
time.
connected to the program.
That was the running back coach.
Well, I mean, he was a graduate.
For the
It was a
Colts.
strange
He was for the Colts. He's Gene Huey.
Gene Huey never was a head coach. I'm thinking head coaches, and there's just not that many.
No, but that wasn't the way that they. I mean, McBride had tons of opportunities. I'm sure Milt could have probably went off somewhere and been a head coach somewhere. That's just not the way college football was, or at least at Nebraska. That was what it was appealing for me to come here. That I knew that I was going to have the coaching staff was going to be, the continuity is going to be. That's part of success.
It was incredible continuity.
And so,
I mean, Ron Brown would call press conferences to announce he was staying. I mean, press conferences. Chiefs came after him. Florida State came after him.
Yeah, tons of opportunities to leave because Ron Brown was going to be the receiver coach. It was like right around when Peter Warrick was there. I remember it.
Florida State.
Yeah, and so it's just a different type of college football at that time. Because guys are comfortable, and when you're winning, winning was a big deal then too.
I think San Diego State with Coryell and with Joe Gibbs and John Madden as his assistants, like there was room for it.
Right. But it's all personal decision too.
Yeah.
So, because staying in San Diego State for 20 some years together is not going to happen because they don't have the financial backing and the winning
times have
percentage.
changed.
Doesn't- yeah, it does not happen,
You could do
does
it
it?
in Nebraska at that point in time because
Well, let me think about this.
why go anywhere else? Where else you're going to go? And then also, let's face it, back then there wasn't a lot. You was either a pro coach or a college coach. There wasn't a lot of crossover back and forth where it's at now. You see a guy that'll be a college coach go be a pro coach and then come back to college.
The passing game took college coaches to the NFL.
Yeah.
Like when that Air Coryell belt was what everybody wanted. And when they recognized that you had to get vertical and stretch the thing a little bit, Coryell's people were the people that they were plucking.
It's all cycles because then it went back to, Joe Gibbs, we're going to line up and beat you up. Then you had, with the Bill Parcells and all them, Dallas Cowboys, physical, all that. And then you get the Rams that come in, boom. Then you see Tampa, they run to Tampa too, and all. Then it's just kind of all
coaching is cyclical.
Yeah.
That's kind of the
it's all about who you hit your wagon to, Sipple. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know that, right? You got to hit your wagon to the right people and know you'd be right there just to kind of chill, right?
Yeah.
Just don't hitch it to a ice fisherman.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. All right.
Fisher.
Not to a fisher.
Fisher.
All right.
You're a professional fisher? Are you a professional fisher?
All right, we're out of here. Enough of the Fisher talk. Fisherman. Old School's next. See ya.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to Oak Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professional